What a week. What a week. What a week. I was ready to give it up. I was ready to let go of all the cat slander. I had all my cat jokes in a bag. I was ready to take it out to the dumpster. But you know what? Cat didn't want me to waste these jokes. He didn't want me to waste these moments that I've had. And I appreciate that, Cat, because they back, baby. These jokes is back, baby. The Cat Man is back. Hey, how did you feel knowing that you semi kind of bet on the Putty Cat to get it done?
In fairness, don't do that. Don't do that. In fairness, after them first games, I was like, look at Cat, man. Cat done finally turned it around. And don't
Okay.
lie. Don't lie.
I felt
You
it.
said the same. You said the
I
same
was like,
thing.
wow, it looks like he turned the corner. And that's where I should have remembered. That's the Putty Cat, man. Like, why did I think the Putty Cat changed? Why did I think he changed? Just like thinking Tom gonna catch Jerry. Like, why? Why? I didn't see the cartoon 100 times,
He
But
caught him a couple times. He got him a couple times.
always with the catch. Like, and tell me that this don't feel like he caught Jerry in an anvil came. Pow! Did you see that man trying to fight Rudy Gobert for a rebound?
I ain't get it. I ain't get it, bro. We on the same team. What we doing? And that's what Rudy there for. He there to clean up the boards, man.
Hey, man.
Clean up the
How
boards.
Karl Anthony Towns that big and his one defensive move is slowly swiping at somebody. Like, that's nuts to me. Like,
He don't even try to do like the verticality where he just goes straight up and just stand there.
He can't even be Luke Cornett. Like, that's all we want him to do. Hey, dog, be Luke Cornett on defense. That's it. Just stand up straight. Just stand. No, he gets as small as possible. It got to the point to where Anthony Edwards said, fuck it, I'ma guard him. Okay.
Hey, talk about Ant-Man though. Talk about Ant-Man.
Hey,
Special.
Ant is doing his best.
Special.
Ant is doing his best to carry them children up the staircase. Okay. Like,
Oh, that he's good. He's
Hey.
really good. Really
like
good.
usually when a guard like that has 2 7-footers next to him, you think they both enforcers. How he the enforcer? How is Ant-Man the enforcer on a team with 2 7-foot centers?
Yeah, man, you don't got power and bite him. You don't got that. You don't got power and bite him.
He ain't got Paul and Bynum. He ain't even got Antonio and Dale Davis. Like, he ain't got none of that, man. He ain't got none of that. He had to guard Jokic in crunch time because nobody else could. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray right there, too. He got to guard him. Like, what? Ant can't do it all, dog. Ant cannot do it all. All right?
What is the point of having Rudy Gobert on the team if you can't slow Jokic down a little bit, dog? A little bit. That's all.
I don't understand how it is. Because, like, when we talk about Evan Mobley, we're going to talk about Evan Mobley because he's actually had a really good series, like high key. Like, but we're going to talk about the Cavs for sure. Y'all deserve it. But here's the thing I don't get about Karl Towns. Karl Towns is 7 foot, 255. He's not undersized, right? Like, there is no reason he should be this much of a disaster on defense. Like, he's long. He's presumably strong, right? Why does he suck on defense?
I think it's kind of like a lateral quickness issue to me, where it's like there's a little bit of guys can get past him, guys can get around him pretty quick, and I don't think he's quick enough to recover defensively. But it's just so weird how he can disappear. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even harp on the defense thing too much with him because that's why they have Rudy back there. You see what I'm saying? They brought in Rudy because that Cat's not the greatest defender in the world. He on the team to get buckets. And in them first 2 games, he was getting buckets, and they won.
Mm-hmm.
And these last 2 games, he ain't been getting enough buckets, and they lost. Like,
Here's why I am.
He has to score. Ant can't be the only one scoring.
Here's why I am willing to get on him about the whole defensive thing, because I think the defensive thing does bleed into the offensive end for him, because he's such a disaster on defense at times. You can't have him on the fucking floor, right? Like, unless he's like 60% from the field, you can't keep him out there.
That's what he got to do, though. He has.
And he's not
he has to
that good to do that. And honestly, if you know what would make him better? You know what would make him a 60% consistently for the field shooter? If he had the lateral ability to be a good defensive player, he probably would be able to shoot 60% from the field, because he wouldn't be relying on like 8 3-point attempts to make it happen for him.
Greatest shooting big of all time, according to him.
Hey, it looked like it was true for the first 2 games. Like,
I'm saying, bro, he got to hit shots. Like, it is what it is.
Karl Anthony Towns is the first player I've ever seen in my life where I'm like, he would be better if he was 6'5". Am I lying?
I don't think he would at all.
Well, I'm saying, like, presumably he would be able to move better. His game is just not a 7-footer game. Like, he's limited because he can't dribble at 7 feet. He can't move side to side. He can't guard nobody at 7 feet. He can only shoot. Like, he can shoot. He could do some things offensively. He would be much better if he was an offensive player. Ray Rag says the Cavs having 2 games in the playoffs where they outscored their opponents in the paint. And they had 7 free throw attempts in both those games. Look, we gonna get to that, man.
Yeah, we got a lot to say about the Cavs. It's a long conversation. It's a long conversation.
But here's what I'll say about the Timberwolves. Hey, when Ant gets some help, it's happening. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get that help in Minnesota, but it's happening. Now, if they are under the mistaken impression that Rudy Gobert and Karl Towns are help, oh, they ain't never gonna do shit. Like, this is always gonna be in their DNA, because at the end of the day, what happened here was Anthony Edwards back got heavy from carrying these dudes. Like, the second that they can't carry their own weight, the flaws in this roster become very evident. And the truth of the matter is that these 2 dudes will never consistently carry their own weight, because these 2 dudes have never consistently carried their own weight their entire NBA career. They've always been, I show up in one game, not show up in another. They're almost 30? Both of them? Well, I don't know. The NBA is different. They probably like 25, which feels like 30 in the NBA.
I think Rudy might be 30, but I don't think Cat close to 30 right now.
When did Cat get drafted? He was in the same draft as Jahlil Okafor, right?
Yes.
So that was what, 2016?
He's probably like what, 20? He's probably like 27, 28.
Okay, so he's only getting older.
Let me see. Type in Cat. The first thing that comes up is Cat Williams. That's hilarious.
Hey, both Cats didn't have a great weekend.
Oh, he's 28.
28.
Will be 29 in November. Yeah.
10 years in the league. 10 years in the league, man. 10 years in the league. He's been this. All 10 of them. He's not changing. He's not. Rudy is not changing. And that's the issue, right? Anthony Edwards, hey, you can win a championship with that motherfucker as your best player. I have no doubt about it. Okay? Mm-hmm. He has everything you need to be able to win a championship with him as your best. All you need is to just get one of them suckers out of there and then just get somebody good. Like, honest to God, if you just swapped out I don't know, Bam ain't been Bam in a couple of years, but like, if you swapped out one of these dudes with like Bam from 2 years ago, yeah, he probably could win it.
Like, he's very much like Mike, Kobe, D Wade to me.
Yeah.
Anthony, like he very much like one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like
and we talk about not even like
guard.
Play style wise. I think it's just like the mentality is there too, right? The willingness to, like, the fact that he's willing to guard Jokic because he knows that the other 2 dudes on his team can't. It's like, yeah, I like that dude. But he shouldn't have to be in that position, man. And look, I'm gonna be biased here. I don't think Minnesota deserves Anthony Edwards. It don't feel right that a dude like Ant plays for the Timberwolves.
Don't do that.
I need him.
Don't do that.
Hey, I need Ant to hit that free agency button, baby. I need him to leave. Okay. I need him to leave. When is his deal up? I need him to force a trade, do something, team up with Joel Embiid, and get away from these suckers. Okay? They keep pairing you with suckers over there. And wait, was Andrew Wiggins on the team with him? Or was he traded around the same time that they got him?
I think they traded him before they drafted him.
All they know how to do is get suckers. They lucked out and got the one non-sucker, but everybody else, they got slow-mo on that team. Cole.
Hey, hold on. Don't do that. That's an NBA champion. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, was he on the Lakers?
The Spurs.
Spurs? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
they got slow-mo on that team, dog.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Be respectful.
Okay. Nah, get out of Minnesota. Get out of Minnesota. You ain't even got to go to a big market. Just go to a team that makes more sense. Okay. Like him on the Timberwolves.
I think they got pieces though. Like Jaden McDaniels, to me, good player.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Conley, always been a good point guard. Literally his whole career, just been good.
I know you talk about basketball, Cole, and you right. They got a good team around him other than those two guys. I'm talking about what would make me more inclined to watch the Timberwolves because I like watching Ant. I hate watching the two suckers with them. Like, what? You know how hard they're making it to build new fans right now? You got to sit through Cat and Rudy Gobert to watch Ant dig them out of those people's mistakes. Nah. I need him to go somewhere where I can appreciate him. And don't send him nowhere like the Clippers, like Lakers, Knicks, like those kind of franchises. Like I need him on a team that like I'm excited to watch because like I can't do this no more, dog. Because if I have to watch him carry Cat one more time, like I'm done. Look how incredible this man is. He had 40 points. We had 40 something like.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, 40.
Mm-hmm. A clean 42. Smacking mid-rangers. This is disgusting. Just disgusting display of great basketball. Meanwhile, Karl Anthony Towns with like 5 for 58. Like, okay. Like.
Man. Wish we could get Ant with AD, man. Wish we could get Ant with AD.
Man. Shit, just get Ant with Evan Mobley. He'd have fixed all that aggressive problem. Like,
could you imagine Ant Cleveland post game just be like, yeah, I told Evan, you gotta stop being a bitch out here. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. Sometimes you just gotta pop out and show them. Like,
chill before they yell at us about talking about stuff that's not sports.
Hip hop is a sport, but it was just Cat. I was this close to letting it go. Kobe knows I was this close to letting it go.
Hey, let's talk about it real quick. Q was so sad. Cat was playing with dog.
I was distraught. I knew I was distraught too because I saw him miss a free throw the other day, and I went, yeah. Okay.
Like, you pray on this man's downfall so crazy.
I don't pray on it. I just celebrate it. You know what I mean? There's a difference, Cole. I'm not out here praying for his failure. I'm not out here seeking it out. But if it happens while I'm watching television, I am going to encourage it.
You was over here like, man, I really ain't going to be able to make jokes no more, dog. What am I going to do? Who am I pick on now? Who am I going to pick on now?
Dog, I thought about that putty cat thing, and I was like, I ain't never going to be able to call that man a putty cat. Like,
I was like, ooh, don't let Cat get to a finals. Don't let Cat get to a finals.
Really? Imagine I got to hear all this revisionist history about Cat, like we did for Andrew Wiggins. Remember that when Andrew Wiggins won that championship? Everyone's like, well, Andrew Wiggins, he was actually really good. And you look at the numbers, I'm like, y'all act like y'all wasn't clouded Andrew Wiggins for like 5 years. Like, now y'all want to relitigate whether the Cavs did the right thing trading him for Kevin Love? Get the fuck out of my face. Get out of my face. What has he done? Remember, he had the same shooting coach as Tatum. So that's how he saw them. Like, yeah, or maybe Jason Tatum was taking a bunch of bad fucking shots. because that's just kind of something Jason Tatum does. You know what? I watch Anthony Edwards and I'm like, damn, man, Jason Tatum wish he was him. Like,
What are we doing? Jason
because
Tatum's really good. He's
he's
really
really
good,
good.
man.
But like when you watch Jason Tatum, you can't help but think to yourself, hey, he think he Kobe. When you watch Anthony Edwards, you like, hey, he might be Kobe. And I'm like, that's just what Jason Tatum wants to be. Like, am I lying about this?
Ant do be looking like Kobe sometimes, bro. I'm like, hey,
With
man.
the sleeve up like Froby, like the one armband on his he know what he doing, right?
I'm like,
Same thing
I
Jason
can't,
Tatum be trying to do with the swag.
I can't lie. I'd be like, you know what? It be looking like it. It be looking like Kobe and Mike sometimes. It be looking like Kobe
Yeah.
and Mike sometimes.
Imagine Jason Tatum. He been trying to do that for years. And everybody be like, shut up, you're not Kobe, Jason. Like
I think a lot of that is because he played for the Celtics. The people just not rolling. And they're just like, nope, not rolling with that one.
I think that has something to do with it for sure. I think the other part of it that has to do with it is that every once in a while in the playoffs, Jason Tatum will have a game where he's shooting all them Kobe shots and the bitches ain't dropping. He's had multiple of them, right? Like, okay, like
I know he's so happy he played the Cavs. He's so happy he played the Cavs.
Yeah, not the Heat.
Like, hey, a team with no wings like this. This is nice.
And look,
nice.
Wait, he got New York next or the Pacers.
Oh yeah, he gonna be like, oh, this is nice.
He gonna be eating good to the finals, right? Like,
hey, reality might be coming when they make the finals. No. Reality might be
and that's the thing. We don't think that's going to happen with Anthony Edwards. We know that's going to happen at some point with Jason Tatum. And that's exactly why Jason Tatum has to hate what's going on with Anthony Edwards. Because it's like, yo, dog, I'm really not like that. Like, man, I'm pretty good. You know, I'm first team on NBA sometimes.
If they play the Nuggets or the Timberwolves, I do not think they're going to win.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
If they play either of those teams, I'm like, I don't think y'all gonna win that.
Well, look, I think that Timberwolves series could go anyway because we're talking about two teams that are going to be relying on people who sometimes shoot very well, but always take a lot of shots. So, well, that's the dynamic. Anybody can win that series, right? Because it's like Jason Tatum can have an off shooting day or Jalen. Like, because the Celtics have been making shots in this series, and let's just transition to the Cavs. The Celtics have been making shots in this series at an incredible fucking clip. When I look at this series, I just think to myself, well, this is the difference between a team with good role players and a team that has people who fill roles. And the Cavs are a team that has players who fill roles. We don't have actual role players because none of them motherfuckers. Dean, there were 2 points in that game where I'm like, okay, we can get back in here if we just make this one shot. Remember, the Cavs were down 4, I think, with 8 minutes left. Dean Wade pops wide open on the right wing for a 3. He doesn't even have to shoot it while moving, but he does shoot it while moving, and he misses. And I'm like, just gather yourself and shoot the fucking shot. It's wide open. But he shoots it, he misses it, and the Cavs would have been like down 2 or 4 at that point. But then the Celtics go on a run, they get back to 9. Missed opportunity there. The second missed opportunity was that goofy ass 3 that Max Strus shot. And I got beef with Max Strus in this game. Now, look, the officiating was bullshit. It was all this and that. I get it. And I understand that people had an objection with the refs calling Max Strus poking somebody while they're going up on the jump shot in their lower extremity. And I get that criticism, right? It's a fair criticism. But Cole, here's a question I don't think enough people are asking. Hey, Max, why the fuck did you poke him? like, what purpose did that serve other than potentially putting yourself in position to get a foul? Like, I get it. Yeah, they shouldn't call it in a game like this. But what the fuck are you doing, Max? Like, you ain't even contesting the shot. He's in the air. He rolls up on you. Why are you poking him? Why are you gonna poke the ball loose? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just something I want to just throw out there really quick. Max Strus, the last 2 years of Miami, had 8 technical fouls combined. His first year in Cleveland, he has 12. I just want to make sure. I just want to throw it out there because I think it speaks to a bigger issue with the Cavs, and I really want to hone in on this officiating thing. Let me start off by saying they definitely got fucked over by the refs yesterday, like 100%, no question. 24 free throws for Boston, 7 for the Cavs. 2 of those 7 were technical free throws. So really just 5. You know what I'm saying? So really just 5 free throws by the team in Cleveland. That's ridiculous. Completely understand why Dan Gilbert took to Twitter to voice his displeasure about what was going on. I get that 100%. But I do think the fact that they never got calls this entire postseason, like they never got calls, even when they played at home, speaks to a larger issue here. And I think it has a lot to do with JP.
Let's talk about this shit. Because I've been pounding the table on this for 3 years, where I'm like, and look, here's how I know I'm onto something. Every time I tweet this out, somebody who can't say something publicly always finds their way on that thread and says, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening, right? Like they can't tweet it themselves, but they can jump on a reply and be like, yeah, that's what's happening. All kind of, just anytime I tweet about this, literally go check who's in the threads. Literally go check who quote tweets it. Like, it's always there. It's always there. And you can tell this if you just like, if you listen to like the Madison Square Garden broadcast of the Cavs when they play the Knicks, you can hear the coaches. Like you can hear the player audio really well if you have headphones in. And you hear some of the shit that JB be saying.
He be cussing them out, bro. He cussed them out all game, every game.
Yep. You remember Bo Pelini?
I do remember Bo Pelini.
Bo Pelini coached at my college, right? My last few years. I was also a resident assistant for the football players at that time. And I would be like, hey, man, what Bo be saying to them refs? And they'd be like, look, man, Bo says shit to them refs that, like, I don't know if, like, you could come back from a spiritual standpoint. like
that's what JB
that's
does.
The same thing be going with JB.
That's what he does. He's constantly cussing at them, constantly on them. And look, bro, I'm not trying to defend referees. I think NBA referees in particular are probably the worst officials in professional sports. Like they consistently, and I know you're thinking about NFL refs right now. I know you're thinking about that right now. But the NBA refs consistently impact the end of games, including in the postseason.
I'll say this. One thing that's undeniable is that NBA refs have the least trust of the public right now. One, because of the whole Tim Donaghy thing that happened a few years, 10, 20 years ago. So, like, there's more people think the NBA is rigged than any other league. Like, we joke about the NFL being rigged, but, like, I don't think it's a serious belief. I do think people seriously think that the NBA is rigged, whether that makes sense or not. I don't think it does, but people do think that. Like, I legitimately do think that. So I think there's less trust. And to be fair to basketball officials, that is probably the single hardest game to officiate, because there's so much little shit that happens so fast in front of you, but it's also, it feels like at times the refs want to insert themselves into moments, right? Where it's just not necessary, right? And you could technically call a foul. You could technically call a foul like on every play in basketball. And I think that's where the issue stems from. But yeah, the officiating is bad. I get it. But it's your job as a coach to try to manipulate that relationship in a way to where you get the calls you need to get, where you have somewhat of a rapport that you need to have, right? It's like you might not like your neighbors, but you might need your neighbors one day, right? So you can't just be out here acting the asshole to your neighbors. And that's just kind of what it is with JB. It's been this way since he's gotten a job in Cleveland. It was this way last year. We talked about they didn't get any calls last year in the playoffs. They didn't get any calls the year prior in the play-in. They didn't get any calls this year in 2 rounds of the playoffs. What's the common denominator? It wasn't like this when Mike Brown and Ty Lue was coaching the fucking team.
Like he takes it so personal. And look, I get it because they fuck up a lot. Last night is more than enough proof. I completely understand why JB was on them because the way that they officiated that game, it really wasn't even on. It was not even on both sides.
Is that a creation though? Like, is the justification for his behavior a creation of his behavior? Because if he just acted normal on them sidelines, I'm pretty sure Darius Garland would get more of them foul calls. I'm pretty sure that Evan Mobley would get more foul calls. Like, I don't think this is a thing where like they're like, oh, we need to protect the Celtics to make sure they win. They're not. The NBA is not afraid that the Cavs are going to beat the Celtics. Okay, like. They're just not afraid of that. Like, I get people saying that conspiracy. Well, I'm like, are you serious? The Cavs don't even have Donovan Mitchell right now. They can give a fuck less if the Cavs win this game. Like, it just gives them an extra game to broadcast. They could push out a game 5 and game 6. They would rather the Cavs win right now because they know the Cavs have no real shot to win this series with both those guys being out. So, like, the NBA ain't trying to rig nothing for the Celtics right now. It make no sense for the NBA. You know what does make sense? The rest being like, man, the faster we get these out of here, the less we got to deal with him. Okay? Like,
you could just tell in their interactions, they're so over JB, bro. Like they
like, don't even interact with him anymore. That's the thing. They don't even talk to him. They're just like, he is clearly an outlier when it comes to NBA coach. Like Mike Malone be wilding. But like they don't even do Mike Malone like this. Okay? Like they are just, and it doesn't make sense for a team not to get these calls from a player perspective because the Cavs are pretty respectful, right? Like as a players, the players on the team. Like Darius gets mad every once in a while, but he kind of just gets up. Jared Allen is Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell.
Max Strus is annoying.
I mean, like, but sure. None of these people are outside the regular realm of what you see from an NBA player in a game or what a ref would expect from an NBA player during the game. JB clearly is. Okay? He's clearly crossed the line and been crossed the line. And I've said this before, the one thing you know will get better if you fire JB is you will get better calls.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't get calls in the regular season. You don't get calls in the postseason. And it's literally like we see it. We hear it. Every time they pan the camera over to him, he ain't never yelling at the team to push. He ain't never yelling at the team to get into they set. He's yelling at the fucking refs. Like, that's what he does. He just yell. And this might be because he was a longtime assistant coach, right? And maybe his job when he was an assistant coach was to pester referees. That's just what he's used to doing. But brother, we clearly need coaching because Max Strus is taking a logo 3 in 2 minutes left in the game for no fucking reason because we don't know what set we want to run.
I just think it's funny how I tweeted.
Meanwhile, Evan Mobley is just demolishing. What was his name? Derek White on the block, and nobody saw it. Nobody.
Literally right under. He had him right under the basket. He gets the ball, he's gonna score or get fouled. There was nothing Derek White could do.
We only needed a 2. We definitely did not need to make a 3. It was going to be a 1 possession game either way if we just played some defense. But you shot a fucking logo 3. A bad contested logo 3. Like, you didn't even get a clean switch on the pick and roll. Why did you do that, Max Strus? Bro, I was so mad.
You really didn't let this go. You didn't let this go.
No, I am not letting it go. I was okay with Max Strus until that moment where I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he shooting that shot?
He was so bad.
Why does he think he has the green light, JB? Why does he think he had the green light there, man? Like,
it was really a tale of 2 halves with pretty much everybody on the team. Now that I really think about it, because
Darius was much better.
Karras was good in that first half. Max was good in that first half. You know what I'm saying? And then second half, Darius picked it up and Evan picked it up. But then Max and Karras kind of, faltered a little bit. And then Isaac Okoro, man, hey look, listen, somebody got to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it because don't nobody talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. Hey, look, man, they got to figure that out. And when I say they got to figure that out, I mean, it's time to move on to me. He not gonna be able to do it.
I
And I
don't
feel
think
like
there's a
it's something
single
we've got to
position you
accept.
can. I don't think if you bring back Donovan Mitchell, there's not a single thing you can really do with him because he's a two. There needs to be a two.
Mm-hmm.
And Donovan Mitchell's not a point guard. You don't want him doing that full time. So you're not going to put Donovan at the one and put Isaac at the two. And you're not a better team if Darius is at the one and Isaac is at the two and Donovan's not on the team. So, yeah, if you keep Donovan Mitchell, I think Isaac has to be a part of those trade conversations. Darius going to have to be a part of them trade conversations, even though I think Darius, I think people are lower on his value than what it actually is because I don't think
They
people
are.
are like, people are like, oh, well, he's had a bad year, so that's going to take his value. I'm like, nah, they see that as an upside trade for Darius Garland. Like, oh, he was hurt. Like, you get relatively similar value what you would have got if you would have traded him before last year. Like, it hasn't really changed that much. But yeah, I think those two are going to have to probably be like, you can sell Isaac Okoro to somebody, right? 40% from three. He's just a two. Like, he's not a three. He's never been a three. He's 6'5" with a 6'4" wingspan. He ain't long enough. He can't do this shit. He can't guard Jason Tatum. Like, we had to put Dean Wade on him. By the way, that was hilarious. Hey, Kevin Harlan or whoever was on the broadcast was hilarious because it was like, Jason Tatum has Dean Wade on him. His eyes just lit up. I'm like, you know what you did. You know what you did.
Why his eyes light up?
Why his eyes light up?
Why he get happy?
Why? Because he has a proper size match on him? Like, well, what are you trying to say there?
You know what he was trying to say?
Yeah. Because he know what he would think. Like,
you better go bring Isaac back. Put him on me. Why you got Dean on me?
Hell no.
Oh man.
Hey,
but yeah, man.
Look, I don't even think Jason Tatum would react to it like that, but I do think Jokic or Luka especially would very much put 80 on the Cavs if they decided to put Dean Wade on him.
How dare you? How dare you?
I almost won MVP.
Him?
Nah, you. What you saying? I can't run?
Hey, go put Evan on me.
Man, you better put switch Evan. Come on.
Evan on me.
He'll be out there in the pick and roll begging for Evan to switch.
Why you let him go? Why you let him guard me, man? Why you let him guard me?
But y'all don't think I'm good?
What you trying to say? What you trying to say right now?
Hey, which is fair though, if I'm Jason Tatum, if he feels that way, because we definitely did put Evan on Paolo. Dean Wade was hurt that whole series, but I don't think that's why they did that.
They knew what they had to do.
Yeah.
They knew what they had to do.
By the way, man, I don't think we got a chance to talk about this. Paolo is good.
He's real good.
Yeah.
Real good. Real good.
Yeah.
Is he the most underrated number one overall pick in our lifetime?
He might be. Because people still don't talk about him like that. And I'm like, see, look, man, him and Ant Edwards need to team up somewhere outside of Orlando and fucking Minnesota. Because don't nobody watch that. Don't nobody watch that. They need to pair up somewhere else, man. They played in Chicago, they would be the talk of the league. Okay, if those two could pair up. Whew.
I was like, Paolo is good, dog. He's good.
Hey, he was a fucking menace. Every time the Cavs got a big shot, I'm like, oh, here come this 7 foot motherfucker just making threes out of nowhere. Just disgusting. By the way, shout out to Jaylen Brown in this series. That motherfucker been shooting, dog.
You heard what he said? You heard what he said?
What
You
do you
heard what he
say?
said? He's like, I just feel like they don't got anybody over there that can actually guard me.
We don't.
Why don't we, Q? Let's talk about that. Let's dive into that for a little bit. Why don't they have
This
anybody
is
that
going to
can guard
perfectly
them?
lead into our second point about the Cavs. I no longer want to hear that the Cavs are soft. They are not soft. They clearly have shown a level of resilience and toughness throughout this season and throughout these playoffs that would indicate to me this is not a soft group of players. What they are, though, is undersized, which is easy to confuse with soft. Because when you're undersized, what happens? Get pushed around. You get shot on. Jaylen Brown goes off for 30 for 4 straight games on you. Like, you know, you end up with Darius Garland guarding fucking not Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum in the clutch. Like, you just end up with these situations. The Cavs have no wings. I know somebody threw out there that Dean Wade could be a fucking wing.
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. Stop you right there. I'm sick of all these fucking people telling me it's okay. We got Dean Wade. We just need him to be. Shut up. Shut up. No, he's not the solution. He is not going to solve the problem. They need real wings. Dean Wade, fine guy to bring off the bench. Probably needs to be playing the 4 more than anything. I think he's definitely better than George Niang. Not even a question in my mind. He's better than George Niang.
Come on, Cove. Like, I think Lamar Stevens was better than him. Like, let's be.
He's better than George Niang. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Literally, what was the dude? They had Diabite last year. Mamu, yeah, like he's better than fucking.
Mahmoud Diabate is on the Browns, dog.
No. I'm talking about he was the backup center for the Milwaukee Bucks, and then he was backup last year.
I know who you're talking about. He played at Virginia or something like that, yeah, like in college. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
By the way, the Cavs released a very messy video of them of all the players quoting Black Panther to this man who is from Africa, and I was like, "Hey, dog, we need to not do that."
Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. I know that.
Do that.
That's bad.
And he was just sitting there like, ha ha ha. But I could tell that he ain't like that shit. And I'm like, hey, dog. No, absolutely not.
Would like that.
Being messy. We being messy. See,
it's getting weird. This is getting a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
I remember watching that video being like, oh, they think this is cute. This is not cute. Like,
hey, but since we're talking about the wing situation, you know what bothers me about Cavs fans on Twitter? I don't understand. And I know I'm a Laker fan, so I know people gonna tell me shut up and all that other good stuff, and that's great. But as a Clevelander and somebody who watches all of their games, I don't understand how you could watch Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, and Max Strus for 82 games plus how many playoff games did they play? 12?
They played 7, and they're about to play 5. So
yeah,
they're
so
at 13.
But
12 right now.
12, okay. I don't understand how you could watch all these games with those 3 guys, and then you see reports of the Cavs being interested in Brandon Ingram, and you want to turn your nose up at that. Like, I do not understand. Who else do you think they can get realistically? And the only reason they can get Brandon Ingram because the Pelicans want to get rid of him because they want Trey Murphy to, take those shots, take that spot to give him an opportunity to grow. Bro, they have to do something. They're never going to win. Like with the way they're constructed, they're never going to win the postseason this way. It's never going to happen.
Again, this brings me to my big question about this team. Like, if you bring back Donovan Mitchell, then you kind of have to do something like go for like a Brandon Ingram, because the other option is let's just wait. Like, let's just wait until like maybe you can get somebody in the draft. But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough position to get one. I know some people are going to act like Amani Bates is going to be the solution there, but even if that's the case, he's a tall guy. He's 6'8" for sure, but he doesn't really play like a wing. He plays like a big guard. So really, is that going to solve it? Except for like adding the height there. You're still going to be undersized, and it's an overall problem with the Cavs. At every position, they're undersized. Like every position, you can argue that they are undersized. Yeah, Evan Mobley's 7 foot, and he has like a 7'2" wingspan, but he's 215 pounds. You know how much Anthony Davis weighs? And he's a 4, by the way. Anthony Davis weighs 256 pounds.
I mean, he plays the 5 a lot, but
yeah, he hates
he's heavy. He's heavy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Heavy.
He's heavy.
And our 5 is 230, which is undersized, and he's 6'9". Right? Like, truly undersized at that position. I mean, like, who the fuck is actually the 3 on this team? I don't know. Is it Max Strus? Is that who we've been going with as a 3?
Max Strus has been starting at the 3. He's 6'5". He's a 2 guard. He's a 2.
He's a 2. He's a big
Karl
2,
is a 2.
but he's a 2. He's a big 2, but he's a 2.
2.
Right? Darius Garland, undersized point guard.
He's a 2 though. He really should. He's not like bulky enough to actually be out on the wing when you see him guard actual wing players.
And Kara's play with a hunchback. Like, I swear to God, this man does not want to be 6'7", man. Like, don't it seem like he be like trying to make himself shorter just so people don't put him at the 3?
Karras is weird. Karras is weird, man. Karras is like a weird basketball player. It's kind of hard to describe unless you just watch him. Because he was good in that first half, and in that second half, he was not good at all. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't know.
Hey, man, you know how like in the NFL, we talk about these receivers that like, yeah, he's 6'2". Like Donovan Peoples-Jones, everybody like, oh, he could be a 50-50 ball guy. I'm like, yeah, but he don't play like that. Right? Like, he don't play big like that. He not a big man like that. Yeah, that's Karras. Karras like to win in the slot. You know, like, that's just it. It is what it is. Caris LeVert could be 6'2". His game would have fucking changed, and you probably would even notice. Like, if I told you Caris is 6'2", you would be like, what? You'd be like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. Because that's what he looks like when he plays out there. He looks like somebody who's 6'2". Donovan Mitchell plays bigger than what he is, to be fair to Donovan Mitchell. But he plays bigger than what he is because he's the size of a point guard, and he plays like a 2 guard. Okay, like...
He also built like a linebacker. Really like he built like a linebacker.
Donovan Mitchell is low key and not even low key. Definitely the strongest dude on this team. That's a problem. That's a real fucking problem.
That's 100% a problem. 100%.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Like, he be getting the most physical rebounds out of anybody on this team. Like,
the one-hand rebounds, you be jumping up for and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, Evan, why do that? He ain't strong enough. That's a problem.
Hey, you be saying that about Evan, and you look at the stats, he got like 14.
Because Evan get the ones he's supposed to get. But with Evan, like, when Luke Cornett decide he want to jump and shit, like, yeah, it's tough for him to get that one. That's fine. He's young. He's going to get stronger, right? And to be fair to Evan, he's literally by himself right now. Like, D-Wade ain't down there trying to rebound shit. Like, it's literally just him. Like, and then like 3 Celtics just beating the fuck out of him in the post. Like, it's rough for him to get rebounds. And the fact that he's getting so many is a plus. But point still remains, Donovan Mitchell is your strongest player.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right? I think we confuse their lack of strength for softness. They just aren't a very strong team physically. They are very undersized physically. That's why they lose to physical teams a lot. Like, it's a miracle they got past Orlando, who's much stronger than them.
And took 7 games.
Hey, now, I'll be fair. Jared Allen stays healthy. You probably get out in like 5 or 6. But that's because he helps add to the strength thing, right? Like the problem is that you don't have very strong people on this fucking team. Like it is a issue. Like when Tristan Thompson comes out there, we're like, yeah, because he adds some strength to the lineup. It's a problem. He's old as dirt in NBA terms.
My thing is this, and this is another part of the conversation that we haven't. I don't even think we've really had on here. What is the path forward with the roster? Because I think everybody at this point kind of agrees the Cavs roster construction,
Mm.
it's probably not even probably is the biggest issue with the team at this point. They are all they have are guards and 2 7-footers. Well, guards and bigs, basically. That's all they have. They don't have any wings.
And this would be my
It's
one
an issue.
argument against Brandon Ingram. He would be a 3. He plays like a 3 on offense. Also, still not very strong. Right? Like, if you're going to keep Evan Mobley and Jared Allen together, which I'm fine with, they play very well together, you just have to get stronger at 3. Like, you just can't be that undersized, that easily overwhelmed. Like, you need to be able to switch all 3 of those guys out and feel good about it, or even prefer having somebody that you could switch onto a big that can hold up from a physical standpoint defensively. That's the question with the Cavs. It's like you need something that, quite frankly, does not exist. You need a very strong 3 that could go out there and shoot some threes and play really good defense. I say this all the time. You need 2016 Robert Covington. Like, bad. Like, you need Philadelphia 76ers with the fucking triangle mohawk Robert Covington. Bad on this team. Because if you don't have that, like, defensively, you're too easy to manipulate. Offensively, you're too predictable. And I think that's the issue that the Cavs keep running their heads against, is that they're just underpowered. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Underpowered.
I think the Brandon Ingram thing, it's weird because this past postseason, he had a really bad postseason. He was getting guarded by Lou Dort. Lou Dort's guarding Luka right now, and Luka's having a really bad series right now.
Hey, now Lou Dort, and look, bruh, that's exactly what the Cavs need.
Like, they're both having rough postseasons getting guarded by Lou Dort. So I don't think Brandon Ingram is as bad as he performed this past postseason. I think that he would help this team a lot on offense because the things that he's good at, as long as he's playing with Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Ingram is one of those players where, like, he can't be your best player. I'm not even entirely sure if he's your 2, that's the best. Like, if he's your second option on offense, that's the best thing.
He's like, if he's hot, cool. Like, that's where
if
he
he's
needs
your
to be
third player,
yeah.
like if he's your third best player, you're in a good spot. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he's your clear, like, number 3 option.
And you just talk about on offense, right?
You know, on offense, because he can make plays for other. Like, he's actually a really good passer, and he could score. If he's your third option, the offense that he provides for you is usually a positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, he shoots like 50% from the field. He's like 30, I think he's like 37% from 3 since he's been in New Orleans these last 5 seasons. Like, he's a guy who could fit in on this team playing the 3, and I think help this team a ton. Biggest issue with him, honestly, is just availability. Like, he misses games every year for one reason or another. And I think that would be the most concerning thing to me. But my issue with the team and the path forward really depends on Evan Mobley. And I hate to put that on him because he's 22. And I honestly think he's had a lot of good moments in this. But he's had some really, really good moments in this postseason. Playing a 5. It just depends on him with what you do. Like, are you going to make him play the 5 full time? And if that's the plan for him going forward, he 100%, he has to put on like 10 to 15 pounds. Like, he's just gonna have to put on 10 to 15 pounds if he's gonna play the 5.
he probably like realistically, you probably don't feel comfortable putting him at the 5 until he's like what 25 pounds heavier.
If he gained like 15, he could probably
It
do
depends
everything
on
you need
like
him
how
to
much
do.
of it is muscle, how strong is he,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
you could be real thin, but like super strong, like a Tyson Chandler, like like it fluctuates on what his weight needs to be, but he clearly needs to be stronger than what he is right now, and it is a concern to me that the one area where I haven't seen enough progression from Evan Mobley. Like I think offensively he's made some great progression, defensively he's made some great progression, but he doesn't seem like he's gotten that much stronger since his first year in the NBA, right? Like that's where I'm like sometimes it feels like it's a mentality thing. But it's like I still see the ball get popped loose from him relatively easy. I still see like the same kind of strength issues I saw a couple years ago with him. And that's where I'm like, maybe he's just not gonna be that strong. And if that's the case, he definitely needs to stay at the 4, for his whole career. Like I don't think he is a center, which is fine. I
Oh
think
yeah,
the
that's fine.
weight, but I do think the weight itself, and this goes back to things that are like have been scientifically peer reviewed. I think the weight will help him like shoot. Like he needs to get heavier so his jumper hits more consistently, because he has good mechanics. It doesn't look weird when he shoots it. It just doesn't go in all the way all the time. And I'm like, I think that has to do with weight. Um, I'm not gonna go over everything about that. You guys can look that up about how weight affects jump shooting, and free throws. But I do think that's a weight thing with the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, like I mean, he's not a problem defensively.
He's fine.
There's nothing right,
He
right.
he's
We're
fine.
really just talking about like his jump shot will be helped by weight. I'm just wondering like if he even gains weight, will that really change anything for his post game, or is he just not strong naturally in the areas where he needs to be strong at in order to have a consistent and strong post game? That just might not be the case. Like maybe he don't got. I don't know what determines that. Like maybe he ain't got like big thighs or some shit. Like I don't know.
I don't.
Like,
I don't. I haven't really paid attention to his thighs. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I ain't either.
But
Like, what don't try to make it seem like I am.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I'm just saying. I
I'm just
just paid it.
saying. I said maybe he don't. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's a hip circumference thing. I don't know. That shit's above my pay grade. Um,
But I will
but
say this. I will say this about Evan. I do think, and even if you look at it like his finishing at the rim and stuff like that, gotten progressively better. Like 2 point percentage, gotten progressively better every year. I think he's getting stronger like incrementally. But if he's going to, if the plan going forward is for him to play the 5 full time, and I agree with you, I'm not entirely sure he can play center full time. If that's what they're going with, he has to like they gotta throw him in a weight room and be like, hey, bro. Because the shooting at that point isn't even like doesn't even matter if he's playing the 5 full time. If he's gonna be screening and rolling and diving, like all that stuff, basically all the stuff that Jared Allen does. If that's what he's going to do, you need to throw him in a weight room all off season to be like, hey, bro, don't come out, don't come out until you got like Hulk Hogan arms or you looking like the Rock, like stuff like that. If they're gonna keep Jared Allen, he has to be a more consistent. He still has to get stronger, but he has to be a more consistent shooter and go have to work on his hand a little bit to make sure the ball doesn't get poked away and then he can do certain things when he's attacking off the dribble and things like that. Also, I think he's better facing up than he is posting up. I think he's a lot better on offense when he's a face up big as opposed to a post up big. And I think the Cavs
you
need to
talking about
start.
Allen or
I'm
Mobley?
talking about Mobley.
Okay.
He's much better offensively when he's facing up as opposed to posting up. And I think the Cavs just need to acknowledge that.
He ain't got no back strength.
Like
Like
they put him in a
he couldn't.
position. They put him in a position where he can't really do it.
Yeah, well, it's also like when we look at like the Wendell Carter bucket versus the Col- it's like well he was facing up on one and then he tried to back down a point guard. He couldn't. He's just not strong in those areas. I don't think he like for somebody who rebounds as well as him. He's not like a great box out guy. Like I think he's willing to get physical. I don't think it's a meant like it's that, but I just think not all bigs have the same strengths. And I think, yeah, you're right. He is more of a face-up guy. He is somebody who can win with his quickness. I think the comps were right. Chris Bosh is pretty on point with what his skill set might turn out to be in the NBA.
Hey man, Chris would kill you in that post.
Yeah, now that is true. That is true.
Kill you in that post.
I'm talking about Miami. I'm talking about Miami Chris Bosh, where he would get the ball and he would dribble drive and shit. That's with Jay Bron. Hey Bron.
We talking about Bron now?
Hey, bro, I saw you there, bro. I know you calculated this shit. You do that on purpose. Now, that might just be so the Lakers hire whoever the fuck you want them to hire as the head coach. I know you might be using us, but while you're here, they say Evan Mobley remind people of Miami Chris Bosh. They say Donovan Mitchell remind people of D Wade and you, Bron. So, hey, bring your son. Let him be Norris Cole, bro. It ain't no problem.
Hey, man. He ain't coming back to Cleveland.
Come on back.
He ain't coming back.
Come on back, bro.
It's all leverage play.
It probably is.
It's all leverage play.
It probably is.
Give me what I want.
But the one thing I know about the Lakers, they are stubborn. So, hey, might be that the leverage play doesn't work, and you might have to go with what you roll with. So come on, Bron. Come on, Bron. Do what needs to be. Hey, Jeannie, stand strong. Okay? Stand strong. Hire, they already got Mike Budenholzer. Hire Mark Jackson or some shit. Do some shit that'll piss off Bron. Come on, Jeannie. Do what needs to be done. Do what needs to. Where was that other bus brother that was ass, almost drove Kobe out of town? Where he at right now?
You talking about Jim Bus? Jim Bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, he alive. He's just not around.
Yeah, bring back Jim Bus.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hire Mike Brown again. That's what we need. Somebody go get Mike
Brown.
Don't
you do that to me. Don't you do that to me.
Somebody go get Mike Brown from Sacramento.
Hey, Mike Brown doing what he's supposed to do in Sacramento, bro.
I know. No, you're right. This is why this would be a hire that could happen, because Mike Brown is a good coach. But LeBron don't like that motherfucker. So exactly what I need, right? You win, I win. Okay.
I think they're about to hire JJ for real.
That would be interesting to see, because I think LeBron will love it. But I'm like, how are all these other dudes on the team going to react to LeBron hiring the homeboy again? Like when you get told if you Anthony Davis to take less shots and LeBron takes more, that's going to hit different if it's JJ Redick and you didn't see the motherfuckers on the podcast. It's going to feel a little different, ain't it?
Definitely gonna feel a little different.
Mm-hmm. Stand strong, Jeannie. Stand strong. Hire David Blatt. He got to be looking for a job, right?
Nah, he probably ain't looking for no more jobs no more.
Now, what makes you say that?
He'd probably never come back to the NBA after that experience. Take a team to the finals and then get fired, and then that team immediately wins the championship. Oh man, I'd never come back. Come back for what?
This is an off-air only conversation. But boy, I wonder what him and Kyrie talked about.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that on here. We're not gonna talk about that on here.
If you know, you know. Okay.
Absolutely not. We're not
definitely nope. Definitely not. No.
We got any more?
Let's get on super chats, right?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's move on, please. Woo, not talking about that one. No, sir. No, sir.
Wonder if they're still in contact.
I know Kyrie got him blocked. Woo.
When he found out where he came from, he's like, well, you coach where?
All right.
Ray Rag says Karen's hitting a second three cost me $200. And if him and Evan got one more point, I would have made almost 1,000. That's tough. It's a bad beat.
Hey man.
Bad
Hey
beat.
no, I seen somebody I follow or who followed me on Twitter, but he replied to one of my tweets about the Cavs. He was one Evan Mobley point away from winning like $1,300.
Someone said, "Don't be like that, Q. Us small market teams got to stick together, man. We ain't nothing like no fucking Minnesota Timberwolves. What? What?
Oh, hold on. What
Us?
you mean? What's so
Us?
different? What's so different?
First of all, we won a championship. Okay.
Fair, fair.
Second
That's
of
fair.
all, I stopped trying to make Cleveland be in the Midwest, man. We not Midwest. Like we not Midwest. We not like Indiana culturally. We have nothing in common with them. Like we have shit in common with Chicago. We have shit in common with Detroit. We got shit in common with what they call it, upstate New York. Like that's who we are. We're in that section. We don't have nothing in common with no fucking Timberwolves. See how the Timberwolves fans react to disappointment, and then see how the Cavs fans react to disappointment. Tell me that we the same thing. Like, yeah. Oh yeah. Hey man, we fought hard. Yeah. The Cavs were willing to boo the Cavs for losing a series that we all knew they were gonna lose. We ain't nothing like them, dog. We more like Philly than them. Like, you know why this series feels home? Because we the same shit as Boston, except for we got a bigger chip on our shoulder. Like, that is Cleveland. Cleveland is Boston with the angrier chip on their shoulder. We ain't nothing like no fucking Timberwolves. That's not us. They not no. Like,
You're so offended by this.
we not like no. Like, you think we would allow Cat to just be here for however long Cat's been here? And live a peaceful existence? We don't even let Jet Wheels breathe. And he ain't nothing like Cat. Okay? What you mean? We
Yeah,
got
deserves it.
Odell Beckham up out of here because he was too fancy. Like, nah, man. Like, nah. We need to stop acting like Cleveland is like these other small markets. Like, we just not. We not like them. Not about to be out here rooting for the Timberwolves out of small market. Nah, out of here. Denver's a small market, technically. You could just say Denver's is like, nah, not about to, not going with that. Not ever gonna get me to root for Minnesota because they kind of like Cleveland. They are not. They are not like Cleveland at all. I don't know, Kobe. You got anything to say about that?
I ain't got
Do
nothing to
you
say
feel a
about that.
connection to the Minnesota Timberwolves or the city of Minnesota?
Nah, not really. Very different cities.
You know how I know we don't see, like, people from Cleveland don't see Minnesota or Indiana like Cleveland? Because every time somebody suggests, hey man, we should go to Minnesota to do this, or we should go to Indiana to do this, what's our first? Fuck out of here. Like, why would I ever do that? Why would I ever go to Indiana? I hate that they have the Big Ten championship there. Like, I'll never go as long as it's over there, dog. Like, I'm about to take an off day to go to Indiana, which is hilarious because I did take an off day to go to Birmingham. But that's
I'm about to
different.
say it's like you're not too good to go to Indiana. You was just in Birmingham. You're not too good.
Birmingham is different though. Birmingham is underrated. I went in there thinking it was going to be something it wasn't, and it wasn't that. And I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I prefer it to Indiana. I've never been to Indiana, but I prefer.
How would you know?
Have you been to Cope? Have you been to Indiana?
No.
I bet you've been closer to Birmingham.
I was in Georgia a couple weeks ago.
Okay, exactly. Act like I'm talking about nothing.
Wait, where's the combine?
It's in Indianapolis.
Wasn't you just there?
No, I was in Mobile
No,
for the Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl. You was
I
Senior
ain't go
Bowl.
no fucking Indiana. Again, I'm not about to spend money to go to Indianapolis.
No, we might need to go for the combine.
No,
we might need to go. Why not?
You can meet me in Mobile. Okay.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, you can meet me in Mobile.
Oh, that's
I'm not
crazy.
about to go to Indianapolis just to not watch football. Like, at least they play football in Mobile, dog. They just running it short in Indianapolis. Like, nah, I'm good. I am so good on that. Like, yeah, I'm not Mr. Small Market Teams need to stick together. Like,
Man, get to the next super chats, man.
fuck out of here. Like if we had Anthony Edwards, they would be begging us to fumble him too, like they did with Bron. Like, get the fuck no. They not your friends. If they not, I pray they my real friend.
If not, you YNW belly.
Don't want to talk no Selly. I got language barriers.
No accent you can sell me?
No accent you can sell me. Yeah, call it Aubrey, no.
Oh man.
Soul Train says, I think the Cavs need a new coach because I don't think any young guys have improved a lot, whether it's Mobley, DG, or GM can fill needs like small forward and bench. I don't think that's where I would knock. That's not where I would knock JB. I do think that there's been significant development. I mean, like, he took the job before DG made that leap. DG made that leap into an all-star level player. Evan Mobley has progressed, I think, significantly. Even somebody like Jared Allen. I think the problem is that you're at the point where it's like, okay, well, he might have helped them progress early in their career, but I think they're at the point where they need something else to get further. So I don't think JB's a bad developmental coach. I just think he's outlived his usefulness with this team.
Yeah, man. I think they're in a weird spot with that, though, in my opinion, because if you were going to replace him, last offseason was the chance for you to do it. Who takes over the job now if you fire JB? Because that's the thing that nobody ever wants to talk about. Like, everybody just wants to fire him, and I get it. I think you can replace him. I think he's a replaceable head coach, and you could find somebody. You could probably find somebody better, but like, who is that right now?
I don't
That's
think it needs to be
available.
anybody. Like, I would get that if you needed to make like an extraordinary jump. I don't think that. I think you just need somebody who has a different skill set than JB, right? And I don't know who that guy is. I don't follow the NBA coaching, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's qualified that can step in and fill that role. And also, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't buy into the whole outside of Doc Rivers because fuck Doc Rivers. I don't buy into the whole like, oh, this coach can't win in the playoff thing. Like, I don't think that's a real thing. I just think the coach needs to be right for the talent that's assembled. And I think more than anything, what this Cavs team needs is a direction, right? Like, they need to just pick a direction and go with it. Are these next few years going to be about getting the most out of Donovan Mitchell? Are these next few years going to be about developing Evan Mobley offensively so when you do get a three that you could put around him, and some pieces you could put around him, you can actually compete with the best teams in the NBA? Like, I think that's what they need to do, and the coaching pick is going to reflect that direction, because right now the Cavs are a good accumulation of players that can get you to the playoffs consistently, but they have no real direction in how they're built. And I think that's what the main through line needs to be for them is what's the direction of the team going forward. And I think who they hire will kind of signify where that direction is. Professor Chaos says, hey, Q, if the Cavs make a comeback against the Celtics and you buy if the Cavs make a comeback against the Celtics, you buy and wear a cat jersey for Q and Cole? Peer pressure don't work like that on me, brother. I ain't never wearing no fucking Karl Anthony Towns jersey publicly. You could bet me $1 million. I'll be like, my pride is worth it. Okay. Like,
All right, you just lied. You definitely just lied.
$1 million to wear a cat jersey?
Yes, you gonna take it. You gonna take it.
I'll find a loophole.
You won't.
I would definitely exhaust it. It depends on how much they wanted me to do in the cat jersey. Like, there's a point to I'm like, all right, dog, I'm not about to do all this. I'm not about to have that footage out there.
You lying.
Who knows how much my media career could be worth? And if I cut my credibility off at the knees like that early, Cove, could be cashing out before I'm really worth something, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm a Taurus. Don't underestimate how petty I will be willing to be. Okay, like I'll
No,
say
you
no.
go. No, you gonna
Nope.
put that cat jersey on.
Nope. Nope. My dad
Uh,
gonna be begging me to do it too. Like, come on, son. This could change your generation. Man, fuck cat.
you selfish. You so selfish.
Hey, call it Aubrey, no. You be sitting there bad. Like,
Hell yeah. I'll be mad as
I'll
shit. Like,
do
what's
it.
wrong with you?
Like,
Like, what's wrong with you?
nah. Put on no cat jersey. I don't even wear jerseys of people I like. Like, I'm not about to wear no cat jersey.
I can't even remember the last time I put a jersey on.
Um, Ray Rag says Ed Edwards is what they thought Wiggins would be.
Facts.
Mm.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie though. I was all on board with the Andrew Wiggins hype.
I mean, everybody was.
Oof. You remember that hoop mixtape?
Maple Jordan?
Yeah. With the jazz playing in the background. And he just like behind the back and just ooh. I was super excited for the Cavs to have the number 1 overall pick in 2014. I was like, damn, what he got left off that letter. Well, we won a chip.
You knew what it was. When he didn't make the letters, like, ooh.
Hey, when he ain't make the letter and Anderson Varejao and Dion Waiters did.
Ooh, you know what it is. Time to ship you off, baby.
Mm-hmm. I remember being in denial about it too. No. He wrote the letter before they drafted.
Come on, man. You knew better than that. It's Bravo talking about. You knew better
Hey,
than
man. This just a fun fact. Go back 10 years ago and we thought that Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins was the next Magic and Bird.
that. Man, we was talking crazy about the whole time Embiid just
Embiid just flew, was so under the radar. I remember being like, well, I'm glad we don't got the 3rd pick. This dude's injury prone. Oh. Yuck.
Ooh, bad call. Bad call.
I remember I turned my nose at somebody saying he could be like Hakeem Olajuwon, but I was rapping with the whole he's the next Kobe thing with Andrew Wiggins. Like, yeah, I see it. Hakeem Olajuwon, nah. Ooh. 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 We have never been so collectively wrong about a draft class.
I have to look back at that draft class one day.
Because like so wrong. There was no question who was going 1 and 2. There was absolutely no doubt.
Now I gotta look at that. I gotta look at that draft real quick. Who in that draft?
Hey, and the 76ers are hilarious because that year they stayed at 3 and they got a franchise cornerstone. And then I think a couple years later, they decided they could not stay at 3 and they traded up to get Markelle Fultz. And like, I think Jason Tatum went 3 that year or something like that. Like,
Hey, okay. Now I remember this draft. Okay, so listen to this. Listen to this. Just the top 10. Just the top 10. Andrew Wiggins went 1.
mm-hmm.
Jabari Parker went 2 to Milwaukee. Hey, Jabari before the injuries was nice though.
Hey man, we thought it was gonna be Kobe and Melo.
Hey man, before the injuries, he was actually nice. 3, Embiid.
Pretty good player.
4, Aaron Gordon.
Wow. Yeah, I remember people used to compare him to Blake. Didn't he go to Orlando?
Yeah, he did go to Orlando. Now he on the Nuggets and helping them win a whole bunch of games.
Living up to his potential after he left Orlando, Paolo.
5, Dante Exum. 6, Marcus Smart.
Okay.
7, Julius Randle.
You know, about right. About right.
Nah, this where it get funny. This where it get funny. Who you think with 8? Sacramento.
Oh my God, they took like Stauskas or something.
Yeah, right? Nick Stauskas. Hey.
Like,
Charlotte at 9.
And they took like Jimmer like the year before or something like that. Like I remember it being really stupid what they were doing at that time.
Number 9.
Man, poor
Charlotte.
Boogie.
You know who it was?
Charlotte. Number 9. Were they the Bobcats or were they the Hornets at this point?
They're the Hornets.
I think he played like no, this ain't the Thomas Robinson draft. So
No.
it's. Do you just tell me?
Noah Vonleh.
Oh my God, I forgot about him.
Noah Vonleh. And it's
he had like the long hand.
10. Elfrid Payton.
You know, for the 10th overall pick, it's not that bad.
Like, you say that until you
see
realize
who
that Zach LaVine with 13 in Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
And then Nurkic with 16.
Oh no.
Let's see. Nurkic with 16.
Jokic
Gary Harris
is in the
19.
next draft, right?
No, Jokic is in
This draft?
No, Jokic with this is the year Jokic with 41. Yeah, it beat a Jokic, same draft. He just didn't come over until later. Man. Also, slow-mo, 130.
Not a bad pick at 30.
Yeah.
Pretty solid pick at 30.
Doug McDermott.
All right.
11.
11th overall.
11th overall.
That's nuts. That is nuts.
Cavs legend Rodney Hood, what, 23?
Hey, TK.
TK is ridiculous.
He looked just like him, but like tall.
Dog, Jeremy Grant with 39th, and Spencer Dinwiddie with 38th. Dang.
Pretty good draft.
Jordan Clarkson, 46. Okay. Cavs legend.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Hey, what national team he play for now? The Portuguese?
I think it's Philippines.
Filipino, yes. He is on the Filipino national team.
Man, Lakers had Randall and Jordan Clarkson in there. Man.
I remember y'all thought y'all had a little core.
Hey man,
the baby Lakers were hilarious, dog. Like when y'all got Brandon Ingram and then y'all topped it off with like Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma. Man, I was in LA during that time. The excitement for them little baby Lakers.
Let's be fair.
Y'all had Josh Hart. It's actually a good team. Like if you don't think about the fact that Lonzo went number 2 overall, and like I don't think he's played basketball in 3 years.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Remember the memories. Him and Bron that first year.
By the way, Kyrie was right. He said LaMelo was going to be the best ball brother. He was right. He was right. He was right. Now,
that's right.
I don't know if LaMelo is going to win anything in his career, but he is definitely better than Lonzo.
Well, I mean, he's more available, so.
I mean, even if we don't factor that in, by the time we got to year 1 of LaMelo, we were really sure that LaMelo was much, much better than Lonzo was at that point.
Well, at that point, yeah, LaMelo could definitely score. Definitely score better than Lonzo. Lonzo might be better at everything else.
Lonzo was a good defender, though. Like,
he was great defender.
Could the Cavs use a healthy Lonzo Ball? Are you ready for these conversations? hey.
You know somebody gonna say it. Somebody gonna say it.
If there's a team, no, it's gonna be that. Should we kick the tires on Ben Simmons?
No, you're making way too much money.
Yeah, nope. But
no, you know who people go float out because they need wings. You know who they go float out for sure. You know who they go float out. They sneakily tried to do it last season.
No,
I was scared.
You're not talking about Dylan Brooks, right?
No,
you talk about Miles.
Mm-hmm. You know it's coming. You know it's
coming. Is he a free agent again? I thought he signed an extension.
I don't think he signed an extension. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I remember people talking about it because he had a couple games last year where he like scored 30.
I was like, ooh, no, y'all, that's not what you want. That's not what you want.
Mm. Go at the whole locker room. Nah, you can't do that. Can't do that. Okay. I feel like with this Ray Rags, I feel like if Allen was healthy, this could really be a close series. Mobley had his way with Horford a couple times on occasion. Don't know what Boston would do against two bigs. I do think this would be more of a series with Allen in there. But I think we got to acknowledge the scoring punch that Boston has. Cleveland has no answer for right now. Like, it feels like every time we get the game close with Boston, we're working super hard to get that game close. And then Boston like can just flip a switch and hit like 3 threes, and we can't hit a fucking three to save our lives like this whole postseason. I think the Cavs are under 30%.
Yeah, they are. So
So
I understand what
I
he's saying though, because it's like if the shooters, quote unquote shooters we got can't hit shots, we better off just playing evident and just playing evident ad
it
because like
would
if like what's the difference?
it would be a series, but it would still feel like Boston is in control.
Yeah.
Like it'd go 6 at least, but it would never feel like Boston was really in danger. Where right now this is likely going 5. Like I'm just gonna be real with y'all Cavs fans. Usually after you fight that hard to
They
try to keep it
lose.
going, yeah, we know
Over
what
with
game
it.
5 gonna look like, man. We know what game 5 gonna look like.
I hope it's
It
competitive at
is.
least. Hope it's
Me too.
competitive.
Me too. But if that thing is up 20, I'm not shocked. like I'm not even gonna be mad. That's why I'm like, you know what? I've gotten everything I wanted out this season. Sometimes you just gotta lead the table when the chips are in your favor. Ray Rag says, as much as I understand it, in 2 minute report has to be done more harm than good to the public discourse against NBA refs. So the 2 minute report has done
It
more
does.
harm.
It does. Because it's like, okay, so you're acknowledging that y'all fucked up this call that impacted the end of a game, but what it doesn't change anything. It just confirms what we know that
Hey
y'all
man,
bad at your jobs.
why don't NBA broadcasts have a rules analyst like in the NFL? Like, it's just the pace of game is just too fast to be able to do something like that. Like, because I think a lot of this would benefit from like some level of expert explanation on some of these calls,
I
rather
would
than just leaving it
agree.
up to the play-by-play commentators to justify whether that's a good foul or not.
I would agree. Who you gonna get to do it? That's respected. That people actually want to hear from.
Man, you just got to build that guy. Like, I don't know, you got to pick somebody who's a ref for a while. Like, because all these refs got bad reputations. Like that is a good
That's what I'm
point, right? You
saying. That's what I'm
can't bring
saying.
Steve Javy up, right? like,
Like imagine if you had Scott Foster up there trying to explain some fucking rules. I'm like, man, if you don't get Scott Foster out of my fucking face, bro.
or it could backfire, and we can find out that some of these refs really be trying to get themselves over. Right?
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix this, man. I don't know how you fix this.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix it either.
Because like at least the NFL has like referees that you're like, oh yeah, this Gene Steratore, that's Dean Blandino. I trust them. You know,
Ed Hockley. You
Ed
know what I
Hockley.
mean?
You know what I mean? Junior and senior. You know, we like some of them. You know,
Ed Hockley is funny because no, did you ever hear that mic'd up with the players? The mic'd up with the players when he be reffing the games?
yeah.
He'd be like, Ed Hercules, okay. Like, oh man. NBA
yeah.
ain't gonna never have nothing like that.
Yeah, they really like imagine Joey Crawford out there. Hey man, here's the thing that loses trust with fans in the NBA referees. Joey Crawford had beef with fucking Tim Duncan.
Mhm.
Like that don't feel if that don't feel like the police, dog. Like I don't know what else does. like,
Imagine Tony Brothers up there trying to explain some rules to you, dog. No,
oh
no.
nah, man. Y'all was beefing with Tim. Stop acting like this is about respectability. Okay, like
Oh
Like
man.
that is the issue. Is that, man? They really do feel like the fans in the NBA in a way that like they don't in any other league. Like, um, okay. Ray Rag says, I feel like the most underrated number one pick in my lifetime has turned into Dwight Howard because younger fans have no idea about Orlando Dwight and what he was doing was the best big in the league. I think that's a fair
Oh, that's
choice.
fair. I like that the two candidates for most underrated number one overall picks in our lifetime are the two dudes who went number one overall to Orlando
To Orlando,
after Shaq.
hey, Shaq figured it out. He got the fuck out of there.
Hey, man, I do think that's something to monitor there. Both left. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
And look, man, Paulo, don't be like Dwight. Like, leave so people can appreciate you. Okay?
Or Orlando build a good team, so you don't have to leave.
They did. That's the thing. Dwight played on the Eastern Conference championship teams. Like, he was good. They were good. And we still act like Dwight was like just okay. Like, honestly, I've never seen somebody, he kind of gets treated like how people treat Cam.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
Like
if Cam
both did the Superman thing when you really think about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, Cam was a much more serious person than Dwight Howard ever purported himself to be. Like, that is the distinct difference.
Nobody hated on no former player. Oh, I can't say that, but the way that Shaq was hating on Dwight, kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would say the people that was hating on Cam weren't really saying those opinions on television. But
Shaq can't stand that man.
Yeah.
Shaq cannot stand that man.
I will say that's the big distinction, is that also Dwight Howard was no matter what point of your career you look at, a prolifically unserious man. Like,
yeah.
Y'all talk about rumors?
He was just so goofy, unserious, dog.
He was so unserious. Like, and it's fun to have fun. It's fine to have fun. That's not what we talk about. We're not talking about him dancing and wearing the Superman cape. It's just like when you line that up with his attempts to be serious, it's just like, oh, he's not serious. And then, worst thing ever to happen, he juxtaposed himself with the most serious individual in NBA history. Okay? Like, I don't know who thought that would work.
Man.
From a personality standpoint.
Kobe was not with it. He was not with it, bro.
Hey, man, the Lakers saw Kobe struggle to deal with Shaq, who was slightly unserious, but still fucking Shaq, right? Like, Shaq got serious when it mattered. Like, you didn't have to worry about Shaq trying to shoot a three or something in, like, the fourth quarter of a close game because he's just trying to have a good time. Like, Shaq was serious once the game started. Well, Shaq was serious once the game started, as long as it was within 20. Like, let's just... There have been times where he clearly wasn't being serious. And he was, like, within, like, the ages of 22 to 35. But Dwight Howard, I mean, dog, if you didn't like Shaq, why would you with Dwight? Okay, like...
Not happening. Not happening. It's just not happening.
And then, you know what? This was Kendrick Drake before Kendrick Drake, because it juxtaposed these two very different personalities and it made you choose a side. And once you chose a side, Dwight was unserious for the rest of his career, dog. Like, we didn't give about nothing Dwight Howard did after he played for the Lakers. He had 20 and 21 year. We didn't give a fuck about that. Like,
yeah, he had a 30-30 game. He had a 30-30 game in Charlotte, I think.
He was averaging like 20 and 15 in Charlotte.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared, dog. Nobody cared, because you had juxtaposed him with the most serious person who made it very clear that this dude ain't serious. Kobe was out there playing on so many injuries just to be petty. They was like the 8th seed. He didn't need to do that. We like, you know who not gonna play? This motherfucker. Okay? Like, you've lived through some interesting time as a Laker fan. Like, I know people give you flack and say you fair weather, but brother, you lived through the Dwight Howard era and the baby Laker era. And that one time y'all was starting what was it? Earl Clark?
Earl Clark was starting with the Kobe,
Yeah.
Steve Nash,
Yeah,
Dwight.
yeah. Y'all was starting Earl Clark, and then he came to the Cavs, and we was excited about it. Like,
I was over here like, what y'all excited for? What's there to be excited about?
hey, he wore number 6, and he was 6'8". Like,
Crazy, they still got the same problem. Oh man.
just get that seat ready. Jonas says they should trade Darius and start Craig Porter Jr. at point guard.
Man, I think Craig could be a good player, but he ain't showed me enough to trade Darius and just be like, yeah, Craig, here you go.
I think if you trade Darius, you just look for a different skill set at point guard too.
That's
Like, because like if you trade Darius, you're probably getting rid of Karras, and like Craig can compete for that 6-man role now.
Yeah, I don't know if Craig could be a starting point guard. Yeah. I don't know if he can.
Honest to God, I think if you do get rid of Darius, the move is to get a point guard who can really defend.
Yeah.
Josh Hart, is he a free agent this year?
No. Cavs had their opportunity to do that.
Damn.
Had the opportunity to do that. They ain't get it done.
It feels like last year was the time to make those moves. Really does.
Feels like last year was the time to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like, you imagine that would have been good.
Solved a lot of problems. Solved a lot of problems.
Ray Rag says Karras was 9 of 18 from the field, 8 of 10 on 2-pointers, and 1 of 8 from 3. Why did it so tell him to stop with the threes? Because you can't tell Karras nothing, dog, when them shits is dropping on any level. Like, look, man, here's the thing about Karras. I'm not about to judge his shot selection. We know what that is. We know what it is. We started Karras LeVert. Shot selection wasn't a fucking conversation.
Hold on. Did you see that tweet that somebody posted of the starting lineup?
Oh yeah, they said everybody in here looked like they got told Karras was going to start, and it was Karras LeVert, like, and everybody else like.
I was like, "Oh, this is the most accurate thing I've ever seen in my life, bro." He would not stop shooting those threes.
Step back threes too. Like, at least 5 of them were step backs.
And don't get me started on Okoro.
Hey man, here's what I need from Karras LeVert. It would just make me feel better if you shot your threes and kept your arms up. Like, you see him shoot a three, he always shoot like, I'm like, what are you doing? Did you bat the fucking ball into the hoop? Like, what is that? Just follow through. Hold it. Just hold it. One time, Karras, just like this. Just hold your follow. See what happens, man. Just one time, Karras. Every time you get touched, you go, like, oh, man. I can't stand it, man. Like,
man.
Whew. I am going to miss my Karras LeVert hoops like tweets opportunities, because I've been doing a good job of them this year. You know, I've been.
We got one more game of them.
You know, I don't know if it's appropriate at this point. Like, you know, I left with he's hooping like he got quarters in his cargo pants, and I think I don't know if I'm topping that. Like, you know, I might just have to let it rest at that. I don't know if I got anything better than that. Like,
you might get some inspiration when they play tomorrow.
Yeah,
you might get some inspiration tomorrow.
People still tweeting me about that whole he hoop like he got jeans on.
He does.
Took them Wranglers off. All right. Rex Forge. Shout out to that was Curtis that shut me down.
Take them Wranglers off.
It's nuts. It's nasty work. Rex Fortune says, just woke up from having to work a double. So first off, F you, Henry. Is that his boss? Or is his coworker? Well, Henry, I don't know if we endorse saying F you to you, but Rex Fortune certainly did. Secondly, where do y'all stand on the man versus bear in the woods debate?
What is this debate? Somebody tell us about this. What is this? What's that? Y'all know we get sidetracked. That sounds like a good way to get sidetracked about something.
Nah, the only thing I know about this debate is the mystical freestyle.
Oh, if you see me, help the
If
bear.
you ever see me in the woods fighting a grizzly bear, help the bear.
Help the bear. Okay.
All I'm gonna say is, I'm pretty sure I'm taking the grizzly bear.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the grizzly bear.
I'm gonna take the grizzly bear. 9 times out of 10.
Ray Rag says Hulk Hogan arms, Kobe. You saying Evan needs some steroids and a tan?
Listen, by any means necessary. Y'all want to see another title or not, man? Like, what we talking about? What we talking about right here?
Kobe, you cannot tell this man to hit up Tristan Thompson.
No, I'm telling him. I'm telling him to hit up Brian. That's what I'm telling him.
Hey, Brian, I ain't say that.
See,
that's a Laker fan. That's a Laker fan. That's how they be talking about you out there in Laker world, Brian. Like on the Cleveland, we think you natural, brother. We think you just
y'all don't think that. Y'all don't think that at all.
I've never said such a thing, and I resent you putting the implication out there that I would say such a thing about LeBron James's physical body. No, that is natural. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay. It is natural. That is hard work. That is just a kid from Akron putting in that work. And see, we respect that journey in a city like Cleveland. But, LA, they used to everything being so manufactured and plastic over there that they can't respect a real man like you. You know what I mean? So come on back to Cleveland and come with the real. Let's get back to the real. Let's get back to the real. You've been around the fake shit too much, Yeah, like, take Kendrick's advice, Keep the family away.
Hey, you said he'd been around that fake shit too long. I was about to say something. Else, but we don't need Brian to say. I was about to say something else. You know what I'm saying? Talk about fake shit. We gonna talk about it.
I ain't never said nothing about your hair, Brian. Okay.
I ain't even
I ain't saying nothing about this. Kobe out here talking about your hair. See, look, this is how the Laker fan. You'll never be Kobe to them. They'll never respect. They don't talk about this like Kobe. Kobe went bald, grew his hair back multiple times. They don't accuse him of having fake hair, but they do with you. Why? Because they haters. Stay away from them, Brian. This is how they do. True colors. True colors right now. This is their true colors. Yeah.
See, you know what's crazy about
their true colors aren't purple and gold. It's hating on you. That's their true colors.
Okay. You've done better.
Yeah. I missed, the oop was there. And I definitely dropped the ball. Like, I ain't gonna lie there.
You know what's crazy about you? I never said it was an issue that he was doing. I never said it was an issue. I just know what's going on.
You have
Hook Evan up. Hook Evan up. I ain't say one bad word about it. Hook Evan up. He needs some.
Nah.
When Evan 235 next season, just know who told you first.
Brian, see how they do you? See how they do you out there in LA, man?
They need to keep doing what he's doing.
Hey, Brian. And then look, if you was dancing and not like us in Cleveland, we wouldn't have recorded you.
Hey, facts.
Like we wouldn't have recorded you. That's gonna happen in LA though.
Facts. They had something. They had something to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Look, we don't do that out here. Urban Meyer could have been doing whatever. He would have been recording, but
that's not true. That's not true.
Urban Meyer ain't ours though. Like we don't really claim Urban Meyer like that, but he ours. We wasn't gonna record that. We was gonna let that be. We understand. Okay.
As soon as I saw that video, I'm like, dang, he done lost. Man, Drake done lost Brian. It's over with. He done lost Brian. It's done.
I want to know what the conversations were like over the weekend for them.
There's a video of Savannah too. She was like into it. She was like,
I told you I never trusted that motherfucker.
She's like, yeah, keep the family away.
I knew when he said something about Serena's husband. That's what I knew.
Man,
Like,
I've never seen that many people just unite against that man before in my life. That's
it was
crazy.
time. Apparently, Drake didn't understand it was time.
Yeah, man, I don't think he was reading the room really.
No,
I don't think he was reading the
no.
room.
Look, he had to drop a better album than For All the Dogs before he started this shit. Like, because that album wasn't just
No,
like,
I'll never forgive Drake. I will never forgive Drake because now I got a whole bunch of motherfuckers like you on my timeline all day trying to tell me how great Mr. Morale is. I will
Cole,
never forgive
you
him.
lost this one, brother. You lost this one. You
You
lost this
said
one.
you
You
hated
lost this
revisionist
one.
history, and I hate it too
You
because I'm like,
lost this one.
it's not
It
good.
is what it is. It is good. It's a classic. Like,
Well, it is now.
it was a classic when I heard it. Like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's gonna be on all my Spotify top streams at the end of the year. Believe that. But
So,
you
hey,
lost this battle, man. You lost it.
hey
You gotta let
man,
that one go. You got
I
just
lost,
like I
man.
had to let go that I
Oh
didn't like Family
God.
Matters. You gotta let
Here's
this one go.
here Rail. Now here's Rail in the comments talking about talk to him because he loved that album. I'm so disgusted by all
Me and
that.
Rail agree on this one. We don't agree
Oh
about
Lord.
how Rail likes to play spades, but we agree on this one. Okay.
He said the big step is in here. Oh God.
Yes. Yes. Go,
Oh.
man. Just give it a try. In like 5 years, just give it a try. Just give it a try. You'll love it. You'll love it, bro. One day you gonna come around and you'll never tell me because I've been too proud on this point. Like, I'm gonna just catch it one day. I'm gonna look at your phone. You be like, "You listen to Mr. Morale?" You be like, "No."
Let's be honest. You will never catch me doing it.
One day, one day.
Listen.
Look, Cole, it's okay. I get it. I understand. But you lost this round, brother.
Oh man, I accept it. I accept it for what it is. I'm not
Yes.
gonna win this one. I'm not gonna win this
Yep.
one.
Public opinion has changed in the better.
Listen.
Hey, man, thank you, Drake. Thank you, Drake. Because you know what? Now I can say shit out in the open that I could never say otherwise. Like, Nothing Was the Same was actually the last good Drake album. Like, it couldn't get that shit off before.
All right. Come on, man. I'm not gonna lie. My take that I can get off now and nobody questions it. Future's better than Drake. I'm just glad. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
glad
get
we
your
throw it out
future
there.
better than Drake takes off.
I'm glad.
on
we're
that.
here now. I'm glad we're here.
Yeah.
Now,
Hey,
man.
look, we look. It ain't all gonna be true, but it's gonna be all out there now. Like
I've been consistent. I've been saying that before the beef. Future was, I said Future was better than Kendrick too. I don't know how people gonna feel about that one today, but
I remember when I was listening to Euphoria, and he said, "I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts." I'm like, "That's what it is. That's what it is for me." It made me come to a revelation because I'm like, why haven't I been like a big Drake fan since 2013? That's it. That's it. It used to be like 2 songs on his albums he would be tough in, and before Nothing Was the Same. And then if you read this, It's Too Late came out, and it was all tough shit. I'm like, okay, I don't know about if I like this that much. Ooh, ooh. Hey, but Nothing Was the Same is a classic. I will always go on the limb for that album. It is a classic.
That's not even one of my favorite Drake albums, to be honest.
We just got different taste.
I think we do. I think.
Like, I'm pretty sure if we went through Damn, we like different songs.
Mhm.
Because I like
And I like Damn. I like Damn. No, Fear. Fear's the best song on
Fear.
it.
I like XXX.
That's a good song.
Yeah. Okay, so we agree on Damn. I don't know. At some point, we are split. Like,
I think it's the Drake thing. I think it's just the Drake thing. We just be like, nah.
yeah. Yeah. Like, after Nothing Was the Same for me, I just cared about the Drake singles. I'm like, all right, well, there's going to be a single that comes out. I don't need to listen to the whole album.
Like, I like Honestly Nevermind because I like that kind of music. I
hate it, honestly, never mind.
I like house music so much, bro. I love house music.
Bro, I remember I was trying to give that album a listen, and Sticky came on. And like, Sticky's cool for like the first verse.
I skip Sticky.
But then you get into the fucking chorus where he's just like, it is Sticky. I'm like, this is too graphic for me. Like, this is too graphic. You're doing too much. Man, get this bullshit off of me. Like Jimmy Cooks is the only good song on there. Doesn't fit the whole album. Like, doesn't fit the whole album at all. It's a single from a different fucking album. And
Bro,
then
it's the house music is some of those songs are so good. Especially it's
I
warm, the
just,
sun's out, it's about to be summer. Like it's good. It's good. I'm sorry.
yeah, honestly, Nevermind is when I was like, because I came back. I like Certified Lover Boy. I'm not gonna lie. I liked that album when it first came out. The first listen through was pretty good. I didn't really come back to it after that, but I liked it. So I was excited for Honestly Nevermind. And then that shit stunk. And then her loss, I'll put it like this. First listen wasn't bad.
Mhm.
My second and third listens, I was like, oh, nah, I don't think I like this. I don't think I like this at all. There were like too many bars in there where it made me have to take off my headphones and do something else.
You could feel the Yachty influence heavy in that album. Like you could feel the Yachty
And you look,
influence like all over it.
Yachty's influence on melodies, cool. Production, cool. Bars, like, like, I don't know. I just didn't like that one. I didn't like that one after my second, third listen.
Hey, Rail's crazy. He said Coben I's music tastes are different because he likes music to drive around in the sound with, and I like music you listen to in a dark room alone. I like music you listen to in a dark room alone. That's usually just like my R&B, like that's like the R&B vibes or like the soul vibes. Like I just gotta like if I'm out, like if I'm doing stuff, I gotta play like different kinds of things while I listen to Future all the time.
Yeah, because like Damn and Good Kid, Mad City, you can play in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all those songs you can play in the car, except for maybe
Yeah.
like you can't play Love in the car with your homeboys. But
No, it's gonna get awkward a little bit. So what's going on? Why are you doing this?
well, and because people gonna start singing the chorus. Like,
Yeah, what we doing? You good, bro? Like what
yeah.
like, what got going on?
But like, what Pimp a Butterfly is probably like a at home listen more than anything. And I'm not gonna lie, like Mr. Morale is definitely an at home listen. But it was just, it was. I'm not gonna lie, Cole. I love that album, and I think I'm gonna love it more as time goes on. So like, it just is what it is, dog.
Salute
Like,
to y'all, man. Salute to y'all. Y'all, if y'all love it, y'all love it. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
hey man, life changing album.
All right. What's the next super chat so we can start talking about the Browns?
Life changing album. Hey man, Rail, we need to get you on the show. We need to get Rail on the show. Just
No,
have
we
just piss off the whole fan base. Talk 2 hours about Mr. Morale. Break down the lyrics of Mother Ice Over.
Drake needs to be there when you do that. What's the next super chat?
We had to explain it 2 times to him too. Like, hey Drake, now you hear this part?
Oh man.
Whew. All right. Ray Rag says apparently TNT got out the bid for the NBA rights by NBC, so it's the last season for Inside the NBA.
Man, it's gonna make me sad if that's the truth.
But
That's
all
actually
them
what
other
happens.
studio shows suck.
Yeah, that's gonna make me sad if we don't get Chuck and Shaq no more.
Who they gonna
That's
bring
rough.
back? Who they gonna bring for NBC though? Like, are they just gonna hire Chuck and Shaq and all them? But
That's
even
probably
then,
what
they
that's
not
probably
gonna
what
get
they
the
angling
freedom.
for. That's what they angling for, probably.
They not gonna get the freedom that
No. No.
that Chuck and Shaq and Ernie get in Atlanta.
Plus, Ernie said he gonna retire if it's not on Turner anymore.
Yeah, we gonna get Draymond Green.
Might not be bad. Might not be bad. Draymond's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Draymond's funny, like in real life.
I think he can
Draymond
be
is.
funny.
I don't
he can
think
be funny in the
Draymond's
studio.
funny on television though.
I'm willing to find out.
You gonna be annoyed? Like, man, get Draymond off the fuck. It's gonna be Draymond and what's the dude's name that used to be the GM that got out of there for that television bag? Bob something.
Bob Myers.
Yeah, Bob Myers.
Those interactions would actually be funny.
They better bring back the round ball rock theme. Like it's the only reason.
We need the classic theme. We need the classic theme.
You're gonna have Chris Collinsworth on there. Let me tell you about Anthony Edwards, man. This is a
Now here,
guy.
now here's a guy.
Here's a guy who wants it, man. You know. Remember when Bill
Oh
Russell used to be on the ESPN broadcast? That's what they need to bring back.
no, you know who they need?
Oh, not Bill Russell. Bill was
Bill
it
Walton.
Bill
Bill
Walton?
Walton.
Yeah,
That's what they
man.
need.
He's just playing real hard right now. Like, he sound like the fucking macho man. Like,
Bill Walton be so high every time he do it, but we need him on more broadcast.
these guys are shooting. Maybe having him paired up with Hubie Brown. Hubie don't be knowing what the fuck going on with Bill.
Man, Hubie just care about basketball, man. I respect it.
He
I
be
respect
like,
it.
man. You know, the 3-point line changed everything.
Oh man.
Let's see. Ray Rag says, I wonder what that pairing would have looked like if Dwight was healthy the whole time in LA.
Yeah, I do too.
It would have looked like Kobe being frustrated in the second round instead of the first round. That's what it would have looked like.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The Dwight trade isn't what killed them. It was that Steve Nash trade that did him in.
Ooh.
Like, that was the one that did him in.
I know Kobe was all types of petty too with Steve Nash over there because Steve got 2 of his MVPs. and
never
taking
won.
the fucking team.
And never won those years in Phoenix. And he beat Phoenix. He beat Phoenix twice. No, I think it was one. He beat Phoenix in 2010 to win his last title too. So I know he was talking crazy shit.
Kobe, you ready to go through another Lakers rebuild? Ray Rag says, I was only excited about Earl Clark on the Cavs on 2K because he could shoot threes for my career player. Who the fuck gave him a 3-point shooting grade?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The old 2K, you could get away with some crazy stuff with some of these dudes. Hey, J.R. Smith, one of the best 2K players ever.
You talking about like 2K13?
Man,
Jay-Z album on it?
Man, Jay, you could get away with murder with JR.
Ray Rag says, also Karras can shoot a layup without falling on the floor. Also, Karras woke up as dollar store tomorrows.
Oh man, it's disrespectful to DeMar, I think.
Hey, I'm happy D Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him either.
Hey, bro, I didn't catch that the first time. I was like, because he said D Rose, and I'm like,
You think about Derrick Rose or like one of his bodyguards?
I was like, what D Rose got to do with this? And I was like, oh wait. I swear, I was sitting there, I was like, man, what does Derrick Rose have to do with any of this? Nobody calls DeMar DeRozan D Rose.
Hilarious when you think about it that DeMar DeRozan got traded for Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And they both won. From LA. like, I bet Kendrick was like, yeah. Oh.
Was happy and immediately got upset.
Like, he better come to the Clippers.
Oh man.
I'm like, how you trade one for the other? And the craziest thing, we didn't even put it together that, like, the craziest thing is we didn't put together that Kawhi Leonard was an LA dude until he went to the Clippers. This motherfucker played at Long Beach State. Like, how did we not put this together? With him, Paul George is a super LA dude too. Well, because he went to what? Did he go Long Beach too? No. Kawhi went to San Diego State. Then Paul went to Long Beach.
Was Paul?
Yeah,
Long Beach?
Paul went to Long Beach State University, some shit like that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh no. I'm not gonna look this up.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Paul George Wikipedia.
No, he went to Fresno State.
Who went to Long Beach?
He went to Fresno State, man. over here spreading misinformation.
Then who went to Long Beach State? Somebody went there.
Hold on, where Kawhi go?
Kawhi definitely went to San Diego State. I don't know. I must have fucking
Okay,
manifested that one out of nowhere.
yeah, he did go to San Diego, so you got that one right.
Yeah, because ain't nobody came out of Long Beach State. I was tripping. Just 100% tripping on that one. Hallucinated that.
Just spread misinformation to the people. That is
I
crazy.
swear. Is he just from Long Beach? No, he's from Palmdale.
Yeah, he's gonna say he's not from Long Beach.
There's something Long Beach about this motherfucker. Cal State University. That's another university you don't know exists until you live in LA. It's Cal
Cal State,
State.
like Cal State Fullerton.
Like Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Northridge, um, Cal State Fresno. Okay. Like, it's a pretty big university. Like, but they don't got no sports team, so we don't know about them, which is crazy. Like,
Hey man, it'd be like that. It'd be like that.
all right, let's talk about the Browns opening the season up real quick against the Dallas Cowboys, and then we can head up out of here. I
How
think
excited are you? How
I'm
excited are you?
I'm excited for the beef that's gonna be manifested because, like, I know Cowboy fans love to talk shit, and Browns fans love to talk shit about fan bases that are perceived to be bigger than theirs. So the beef is gonna be legendary. Legendary.
Tom
Now,
Brady on the call.
oh
Tom
yeah.
Brady on the call. Home
I
opener.
wonder if we gonna hate Tom Brady by the end of this game, man. Like,
I mean, why are we assuming that people didn't already hate Tom Brady?
well, no, he's had a comeback. He's had a PR come. Like, people don't hate Tom Brady no more, really. Like,
Hmm.
there's some OGs who hated him in like '06 that still hang on to hating Tom Brady. But like, for the most part, Tom Brady has a pretty positive public reputation.
Mm.
Well, I know you don't like Tom Brady.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
He's the
not
GOAT
I'm
though.
not ever call myself
He's
a
the GOAT.
Tom Brady fan or
Yeah.
anything. You know, and look, I'm gonna be real with you. The second Pat get that fourth ring, he's not the GOAT no more. Like, yeah, I said it.
I'm not
Like,
mad at it.
yeah.
Erase his legacy. Who cares?
No, we're not erasing his legacy. Ain't nothing
Oh,
wrong
I
with
will.
being the
I
second
will.
greatest quarterback of all time. But if Pat get four, yeah, fuck it. He's the best. Like, there's really no debate. The only debate there's been that Pat's not better than him is like, oh, well, Tom run more. But if he wins four in his first like 5 fucking years or 7 years, whatever it's been in the NBA, NFL, yeah, that's it. It's done. He's not the GOAT no more. At least to the same demographic of people who don't like Tom Brady. Like,
Fair enough.
hey,
Fair enough.
hey, but I don't know. I don't know. Might be a Skip Bayless situation. If you know, you know. But 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 yeah, that's how I feel about Tom. So I'm just interested to see. It's going to be a big game. A lot of attention. A lot of people watch the Cowboys. A lot of people watch the Browns. 4:25 on Fox. It's weird to start the season out on Fox, but it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. We're gonna get Michael Parsons, Myles Garrett. I mean, that game sells itself. Also tells
Man,
you that the league might think the Browns might be good this year.
that's what I wanted to say. I feel like the league's like, hey man, we get it. We know people are kind of like, and listen, I heard Jake Burns and Andrew Spade talk about this on the OVR. If you really listen to like the smart national people talk about the Cleveland Browns, pretty much universally, it's a that roster is really, really, really good. We just don't know what Deshaun gonna look like. And that's like the long and short. It's not the team, it's not the coaching staff, not the front. Like great coaching, like great head coach, great coaching staff, great front office, great overall roster. It's just we don't know what that quarterback gonna look like. Like man, like and that's what's gonna determine the season is what he looks like. So I
I
hate to
would make
say
the
this.
argument that it depends on what you mean by determine the season. I think the team's good enough to where he could play pretty mediocre and still be pretty good. Like, that's going to be the interesting thing to watch for me is I think the Browns are going to win games no matter what this season.
I would agree.
The question is, are we at a point at the end of the season where we feel like Deshaun Watson is getting credit for games he shouldn't be getting credit for? Or is he not getting credit for games that he should be getting credit for, right? Like, that's going to be what's going to be determined throughout the season. Because I don't think the numbers from him are going to be overwhelming. He's already talked about how he doesn't need to do that much. And I think that's a good realization for him to have, which is to say, hey, I don't need to do all of this shit. That's what Pat Mahomes did in the playoffs, right? Pat was like, I don't need to go full Pat. Just need to move the fucking ball. I got the best defense in the playoffs right now. And that's pretty much the situation Deshaun's going to be in. He has the most help in the NFL. So I think no matter what he does this year, people are going to paint it as he's being carried by the team, which is going to be true to an extent because this ain't a roster that's built for the quarterback to have to carry them, right? Like, I think any quarterback on this roster would be playing more of a supporting role than anything. But the question is like, hey, when it's the fourth quarter and, we fucked up a little bit and we down by 10, can you turn up then? Right? Those moments are going to be important. Can he do what he did against Baltimore on a consistent basis? Where we don't need him to go crazy the whole game, but we do need you to show up in the fourth quarter. Like I think we're going to have a hard time trying to judge this if we are strict on what the numbers look like. Because I think the numbers will be underwhelming. He's not going to be asked to do that much to win games.
It leaves me in a weird position as somebody who watches the team and cares about the team. Because you didn't trade what you traded for him, and you didn't pay him all this money to just kind of be like, hey man, don't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like
I'm not saying
expectations should be higher for him.
Well, I'm saying I'm not saying that's what the expectation should be. I'm saying he's at a point with this roster where what the quarterback needs to do is one, not fuck it up, yes, but two, be a factor in the fourth quarter, right? I don't think he needs to be the overall driving force of success for the team. And I don't even know if him doing that or playing like that would be what's best for the team because you're talking about lowering time of possession. You're talking about upping the amount of possessions that your defense is on the field. And you're talking about upping the opportunity for turnovers. I think there's a difference between not being asked to not fuck it up and being asked to fulfill the role of like, hey, you might not have to go crazy, but we do need you to be a factor in the fourth quarter. Like, nobody says that Pat Mahomes isn't worth the money. But if you look at what he did in the playoffs, it wasn't the classic turn up Pat Mahomes football. It was a lot of dinking and dunking. It was a lot of just taking what the defense is giving them for 4 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, when it became time to run away with it, you take the shot, you get the shot, you end the fucking game, right? And that's what you're going to want out of Deshaun Watson. If he can do that on a consistent basis, which is more than like, that's what you're paying for, is somebody who can ultimately put close games away from the quarterback position, right? Like that's what separates the quarterbacks that you want to pay from the ones that you don't. The ones that you feel like can't put games away in the fourth quarter, those are the ones you always argue don't feel like they're worth the money, right? Tua. You don't feel like good about Tua putting a game away. He don't feel like he's worth the money. But Joe Burrow, you feel great about the money for Joe Burrow because hey, if I just need a score to put this game away, oh, JB got that. Mm-hmm. So we gonna be fine. It's not really about the cumulative numbers. It's not really about the stats. It's about, can you put these games away in the fourth quarter? And the one thing I will say to his to his benefit is he did do that against Tennessee. It was Tennessee. They're not that good of a team. He did do that against Arizona. It was Arizona. It's not that good of a team, but he did do it, right? And he did do that against Baltimore. And he did that against Cincinnati. Absolutely didn't do it against Pittsburgh, which was on national TV, and played into why the perception was so negative of him, because the one time people saw him nationally, he laid the worst dud of his life. But the Cincinnati games and the Baltimore games, I'm like, that's just what he needs to be. Like, if the numbers aren't crazy, but you can look in the fourth quarter and see where he put the game away, then we're good. That's all we really, maybe I'm framing it wrong by saying that's all we really need. But that's what the team needs at the quarterback position, is somebody who could put the game away in the fourth quarter. That's going to be the difference from the Browns being a fun playoff team to a championship contender, and I think that's what you're asking out of Deshaun, and that's how I'm going to try to judge it. I think people are going to make the mistake of judging it based off of cumulative numbers. And let's say Deshaun had 5,000 yards, but he can't finish a game to save his life. We're not going to feel good about that.
Nope.
It's about that part of it, right? Can he finish these games? And that's where I'm going to be interested to see where this conversation goes, because, man, I'm rewatching the Browns season. I'm up to week 4, and a lot of people lying about his ability to finish games right now. A lot of people were lying last year, where it's oh yeah, he didn't finish any of those games. He didn't help them win any of these games that they won. I'm like, hey, bro, watch the fucking Cincinnati game. Watch the Tennessee game. It is obvious he finished those games in a way that we did not have a quarterback capable of doing for the rest of the season. So that's the most important part for me, is can he do that on a consistent basis, not just versus Tennessee, not just versus division opponents, but versus a Cowboys, versus a 49ers, versus a Buffalo, versus a Kansas City Chiefs. If those things hold up, give a fuck what the numbers look like. As long as the interceptions are low and he's doing that, that's really what this team needs to do and needs at the quarterback position in order to be a championship contender. And if this team is competing for a championship, I mean, we know how the quarterback conversation changes once you're in that realm of team.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, man, I'm not really worried about the Browns just as a team right now. I mean, I'm just not really worried about them. And I know people are going to manufacture talking points and manufacture, things to get upset about. I'm sure people are going to want to talk about the receivers, or what's going on with Nick Chubb and things like that. But man, I'm really just waiting for the season to start. I think they're going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Michael Hall does some stuff we're not expecting.
I mean, even if he don't,
there's nothing I'm really super duper worried about. Maybe the offensive line, new coaching staff, but all the players are pretty good.
This is the most questionless offseason I've ever had covering this team.
I'm not worried about it.
Usually the offseason is really it's not that hard to make content for, because it's oh, there's a bunch of questions that we have to ask. But this year it's hey man, they was really good last year. Can they be really good again with the same players?
Or marginal upgrades at certain positions. Do you know?
Yeah, and it's people are being upset because teams are making these upgrades to their teams. I'm well, the Browns don't need to upgrade, and they don't really have room. They're already really good as a roster. If Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson stay healthy last year, we could be talking about a team that either lost in the AFC Championship game, or lost in the Super Bowl, or won the Super Bowl. But I think if those two stay healthy, that's probably where this team sits. They were that good. If they could just stay healthy, is a question. And you can't really predict health, but it's a good team. It's a really good team. Quarterback is a bit of a concern. I'm not as concerned as I think most people are. I think what Deshaun showed last year was a small sample size, but was an encouraging sample size of what he's going to have to be asked to do. And I talked about this on my channel. I want to know what your thoughts are on it. We talk about game manager and game changer, and we usually talk about them as if they're a binary. But I'm like, it's really a spectrum that I think these players need to exist on. And I think the key is you need to be able to bounce up and down that spectrum. Like you need to be able to manage a game at times in order to be a championship level quarterback. And there are times where you need to be able to change it. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are two biggest examples of guys who can't really find their flexibility in that spectrum, and it hurts them, right? Josh Allen takes way too many risks with the ball, turns into turnovers. He can't get out the fucking second round. And then with Lamar Jackson, sometimes I feel like Lamar Jackson thinks he needs to make too many plays downfield with his arm, right? Instead of just taking what's simple right there. And I think that just showed itself in that game versus Kansas City, where he was trying to make too many big plays happen. It wasn't going, and he couldn't just get to the points where he could run, manage the game, and just beat, because they should have beat Kansas City.
I told you that. I told you that when we did the pod immediately after it happened. I was like, they gonna look back at this game and be like, "Yeah, man, we should have won that shit."
And
like we definitely should have won that game.
And Cole, I will say this too: if that was the case for them, I'm just gonna throw this one out there. If you think that Baltimore definitely should have beat Kansas City in that game, I think the Browns were the better team when they were healthy than Baltimore, even without Nick Chubb.
I don't think it's crazy to say that.
They beat them at Baltimore, down 14 in the fourth quarter.
Came back and won.
And came back in a game they had no business winning. Like that does that not scream? That screams to me, oh, they're a better football team than you.
Remember how we were talking about that game going into that game?
Mm-hmm.
Universally, we were like, "Hey, man,
they might be better."
We probably not about to win this game.
Yeah,
like realistically, we not about to win this game.
We didn't know what Deshaun was going to be on. Like we felt better because he played good against Arizona, but that was Arizona. We were really curious about what was going to happen with that game. But I mean, like, look at what the Browns were able to do this year. Well, last year, right? With PJ Walker at quarterback, they beat the San Francisco 49ers, who came out the NFC. And then on the road, they beat the Baltimore Ravens with what turned out to be half of Deshaun Watson.
They're a good football team, man. Yeah. They're a good football team. That's why like the over under for wins and stuff is like weird to me. And I'm like, hey, when I saw it, what are they at? Like 8.5 or something like that for wins?
Yeah, it's I thought it was like at 6.5 the last I checked. But
it's like 8.5 or something. And I'm just like, they won 11 games and rested their starters the last week of the season with a mountain of injuries. And not even just quarterback, like a mountain of injuries.
Almost exclusively on the offensive side. Like we had no tackles.
No tackles.
No tackles. What I believe Amari Cooper was banged up the whole second half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Still cooking people though.
Elijah Moore in and out the lineup. Like the consistent in and out between Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward. Didn't have any safeties left by the time we got to the playoff game because Grant Delpit was out. So was Rodney McLeod, and so was Juan Thornhill. All three of them were out. And, it's just a lot of injuries. Defensive line had injuries too, right? Interior. It's probably why they drafted Michael Hall, just to make sure that they can be proof from that. I mean, this team, like, if they were relatively healthy last year, and, like, definitely if Nick Chubb doesn't get hurt, but I even think, like, if Deshaun doesn't get hurt after that game, I think the Browns have a real shot to get that 1 seed. If not, they take it, because I don't think they lose to Denver. Maybe they still lose to LA. That game was weird. That game was fucking weird.
They still would have lost. They still would have lost to the Rams. I'm just gonna throw that. They would have lost to the Rams.
Maybe they don't lose to LA, but maybe they lose to LA still. All right. Who else did they lose to down the street? Oh, they definitely beat Seattle if Deshaun's healthy.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna cap. If that ball don't go off a helmet, they probably would have won that game with PJ.
Yeah, like they definitely win that game, right?
Like if that ball don't go off a helmet, I'm pretty positive they was about to win that game.
So I mean, that's just 2 wins alone. This is a 13-win team. That's a 1 seed.
Yeah, I don't.
You had the tiebreaker with Baltimore because you had a better division record.
people are talking about their like the strength of schedule or whatever, and like this. I hate the strength of schedule discourse. I hate it because it's like, okay, yeah, last year all these teams were combined. Like I think they had like a combined 0.57 winning percentage or whatever, but all these teams turn over like 40% of the roster. Maybe some people are like, maybe some teams are less, maybe it's like 25. Like who did the Browns even really change? What roster
They lost Taki
changes?
Taki.
Added Jordan Hicks, and they lost Anthony
Hmm.
Walker, added Jordan Hicks.
And
Harrison Bryant's gone.
but that doesn't matter.
Nick Harris is gone.
Yeah.
Like who did they lose?
I think that's it. They added Jerry Judy.
Added Jerry Judy, added Jordan Hicks, added the one defensive tackle from the Jets,
Oh,
whose name
Quentin
is
Jefferson.
they lost Jordan Elliott.
Yeah.
Like who did they lose? Like who did they lose that made you think that they're gonna take this massive step back
I
as
don't
a
know.
team?
And I think people just predicted that it would happen, and now they're stuck with those predictions because everybody was like, "Oh, cap space, they're gonna lose everybody," and it didn't happen. So I think that's what people are caught up on. But yeah, it's just the strength of schedule argument never made sense to me, especially when you have a team in the AFC North, because like, guess what, dude? Every fucking schedule sucks for the Browns. You have to play Baltimore twice. You have to play Pittsburgh twice. You have to play Cincinnati twice. That's the bulk of like the part that sucks on your schedule.
And
Everything
it's not
else,
even
like,
just for the Browns. It's for every team in the AFC. Like every team in the AFC North knows, hey, bro, we gonna have 6 rough fucking games every year, no matter
yeah,
what.
and I think what adds to it too, right? It's not just that these teams are good, is that these teams have had these same coaches for like 5 to 6 years, which means that you're ultra familiar with everybody that you play against. Like you don't even gotta do film review for these motherfuckers. Like you just catching up on the new details. Like you know what they do, right? So it's just that level of familiarity. Those are always going to be the toughest games on the schedule. Like, yeah, you can add a tough game here or there, but I mean, like we said the same shit about the Browns schedule this year. Well, this last year, right? Oh, we got San Francisco. We got to play all these quarterbacks. We ain't gonna be able to. Trevor Lawrence gonna be this and that. And it's like one every year y'all be wrong about some quarterback that's about to be that y'all think is like destined to be fire and he's not fucking fire. Every year y'all be wrong about one of the motherfuckers. Like, okay, yeah, who is it this year? I don't know who they hyping up this year. It's gonna be hell on wheels. But I'm like, they probably not gonna be that hard to beat. Two, we overrate how difficult it is to beat a good quarterback, by the way. Like, I'm sorry. This is my point that I'm gonna go on. Unless that motherfucker's name is Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, maybe Lamar Jackson. Like, who else is in that list of quarterbacks? I'm like, oh man, we got to worry about them.
Josh Allen in that list for you or no?
No, because sometimes Josh Allen can help you,
It
and that's
depends on
why
what
I'm like
version.
maybe Lamar. Like,
It depends on what version of Lamar
honestly, the
Josh you
only
get.
quarterback that I'm like will really affect how I view the schedule is Pat, because even with Joe, he ain't like that
CJ?
against us. I mean, like we'll see. It's a little early. Like, let's not do that to him. You know,
It's a little early.
I did the same thing with Trevor. I'm like, hey, we can't do this to him, right? And I like CJ. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Trevor, so I'm gonna make sure we don't do that to him, right? Let's not do that to CJ, right? If he gets there, he gets there, and that's dope. But like, the only quarterback that you're really like, oh my god, your schedule alters for is Pat. Everybody else is really good to okay, but you could beat them. They're not unbeatable. None of these other quarterbacks have that era of like, oh man, it's so difficult to beat them. Like you don't feel that way playing against Lamar. Lamar is tough as hell to beat, but you don't feel like it's impossible to beat him in the same way to like no matter what point in the season, if the Browns play the Chiefs, you're gonna be like, God damn. Right? Like that's the only dude in the league like that. You don't feel that way about no Jalen Hurts.
Can we also be honest about something about the AFC North real quick? Because I feel
Yeah.
like we need to be honest about that. If you look at the division, the only team that I think definitively got better is the Steelers. Like I think they got, especially on defense and the offensive line. I think they definitely got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and I and I think that's gonna matter. Quarterback situation is still kind of up in the air. We'll see what's going on with that. But they're the only team that I would say like definitively for sure is better than they were
Oh,
last
you
year.
joining my camp on this one. But then you look
Definitely.
at Baltimore and you like, I don't know if they got better. I think they might have
No,
got worse. Like,
Baltimore 100% got worse to me. That is a
we'll see
worse
what
football team
happens
than it
with
was last
Cincinnati.
year.
They got like 3 contract holdouts right now. Like that.
That's the thing with them because I think the Bengals typically draft well, and the Steelers and the Ravens. Like I actually feel like every team in our division kind of drafts well.
Yeah,
Actually, now that I think
there's
about
no
it,
escaping the
you have
hell that
that.
this like that's the thing is there's no escaping the hell that is this division because every single one of these teams are well ran, well coached, and well stocked. Like there's no escaping it. There's the
But
Steelers would be a division winner or a division favorite in like 4 other divisions.
maybe five, maybe like five. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Yeah.
Like they would like if you took any team out of the AFC North and just dropped them in another division that doesn't have the Chiefs in it, I'm pretty sure they end up winning that division.
Even with the Chiefs in it, like, hey man, most of these AFC North teams could probably have a better regular season than Kansas City.
Especially if they play the Raiders and the Chargers. Four times.
Woo. You
Oh
imagine,
man. Oh
you
man.
imagine
I
Jan
would love it.
Wills. You imagine Jan Wills being like, they ain't coming. Like,
Man.
I ain't got
But
to see
like
Highsmith.
I'm getting distracted. But like I think the Steelers got better. I think the Ravens definitely got worse. The Bengals, it's depends on if I'll just put it out there. I think they could survive trading T. Higgins. I do
Mhm.
not think they can survive if they have to trade Trey Hendrickson.
No, they need to get that right with Trey. That defense
If
can't
he
survive that.
if he's gone, they're toast on defense.
Yeah.
Toast on defense if he's gone. And I think the Browns actually got marginally better, which honestly might be all they need because they need to stay healthy. That's the biggest
Now,
thing.
when we talk about the Browns getting better, do we factor in like they're marginally better from what their roster was at the start of last year to what it is now? I think
Yeah.
we agree on that. Are we also including that they're marginally better for what their roster was for the bulk of the season to what it's going to be this year?
I mean, if we're talking about what they actually had to deal, what they actually had to play
Yeah,
games
like if
with,
they just have a normal amount of injuries
yeah, if they have a normal amount
versus,
of injuries, they're probably going to end up being a better football team because they're not playing their fourth and fifth tackles
Mhm.
on offense and whatever running backs they can cobble together. Like they're probably going to be a lot better
All right,
if they
let's get
stay
to these
healthy.
super cats. Amari Cooper playing with his playing against his former team will be fun. Yes. Ray Rag says academics is now getting sued by that academics case is nasty.
Oh yeah, that's bad. That's
That's
bad.
a
That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
yeah.
What did Kendrick say?
I got no comment. No.
What did Kendrick say?
Y'all figure out the quote that Cove's looking for. We at Q and Cove officially have no comments on that case, as it is a pending legal matter on a very sensitive issue.
Extremely sensitive issue.
Yeah, Ak.
Extremely.
It don't look good though, bro.
Oh, it looks terrible.
It
It
looks
looks
really
awful.
bad.
It looks
Yeah,
absolutely awful.
I didn't know about any of this stuff going on with him. Can't say I was an academics fan. Like I was pretty indifferent on Ak, to be honest. Like I was never somebody who watched Everyday Struggle. So I kind of missed the whole Joe Budden academics thing. Ray Rag says with now we just be violently moving through topics, dog. Like
That's why people tune in. That's why
Yeah.
people tune in.
They just want to see us do this balancing act. like, with how good this team was last year, how many of these players are coming back if the Browns can literally cut out the number of interceptions in half? They could possibly win 12 plus games. Just turnovers, to be honest with you. They had like 35 turnovers last year.
They hadn't. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. For them to win 11 games and be able to rest their starters at the end of the year with all the turnovers they had is ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
It's
People need to stop getting on the defense for that road defense bullshit. Like, nah, that wasn't on them. Like, as much as like you were able to accomplish incredible things because of that defense, man. Like, the amount of turnovers that you just withstood is insane.
when you really
I
look
heard
at
somebody try to
everything they
argue.
overcame, it's ridiculous what they
Cole,
actually
I
accomplished.
made the point. I'm like, hey man, there were a lot of times where the offense gave the defense, or gave the other team's offense the ball at like the 5-yard line, and somebody really tried to debate it out. Like, well, maybe they're just not good at goal line defense. I'm like, brother, it's not their fucking fault that the drive is starting at the 5. Like,
What do you want them? What do you want them to do about that?
Like,
What do
yeah,
you want us
it's
to
not
do
the
about this?
defense's fault. Like, come on now. Like,
Come on, man.
and they had a better percentage against that stuff than most people because they led the league. They had the lowest score on percentage in the NFL, despite all that shit. I think people really let the road defense graphics like fool them, but like that road defense graphic included 4 quarters of a game in Cincinnati where none of the starters played. That road defense graphic that we saw on television also included like a whole quarter from the Texans game where the Browns like backups just let the Texans score 3 times. Like it also included a lot of points that were created off turnovers, not just from Joe Flacco, but also from we go watch the Baltimore game. Right?
Mhm.
There's a pick 6 and a fumble punt in there. Okay. 14 points. Okay. 14
Listen,
points in that game. I broke it down on a tweet and I can't find that tweet. So if somebody can and send it to me, I would appreciate it. But I'm like, literally, they would have been like the number 1 ranked home defense and like the 4th ranked road defense if you just take out all those points. They were fine. They were not that bad on the road.
Bro,
Like,
every Sunday I was just tweeting, "Hey, look, more points off turnovers. Where have I seen this before?" I'm tweeting every Sunday, dog.
like
They're gonna be fine.
Here's the thing. When people like argue whether like Joe Flacco was better because he put up better stats, this is why I'm like, the stats don't tell the whole story. The Browns, when Deshaun Watson were in there, were winning games by like 20. Like, they did it twice. Their 2 biggest blowouts of the year happened when Deshaun Watson was in there. When Joe Flacco was in there, you might win by 13. Right? Like, you might win by 13, but you probably gonna have to squeeze it out. Why? Because he turning the ball over. That's why. Yeah. Like,
hey man, we talk about this all the time. And Browns fans do not talk about this. And it pisses me off. They do not talk about this. This man threw back-to-back pick 6s in a playoff game.
And nobody says anything
about it, bro. You were angry that this man left. People
are more mad at PJ Walker for just existing than they are about the back-to-back pick 6s. Like the amount of slander I hear about PJ Walker, and I'm sitting here like, PJ Walker didn't throw 1 pick 6. Okay? Like,
he tried to.
He tried to 1 pick 6, man.
But he didn't.
Homie threw 2 of them in a game at a pivotal point, and nobody ever thinks it's appropriate. Anytime I bring it up, I get comments on my main channel like, Q, you gotta let it go. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Why have y'all let this go? I would never let this go.
You keep bringing that up about Joe Flacco. Yeah. Because y'all keep talking about him like he should be starting.
We were on the Texas 30-yard line, and he threw a pick 6.
And it came out, it threw another pick 6, and it came out, and then completely whipped the ball on the 4th down conversion. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? The score was close.
The defense,
it wasn't.
Defense came out of halftime. Gotta stop. I'm like, okay, you know what? We might be in
JLK was mean mugging.
Back-to-back pick 6s. Back-to-back.
Hey, dog. I would never understand people's unwillingness to acknowledge that. like, like every
Man,
time I hear it, I've heard credible people. Mina Kimes was like, yeah, well, we don't know if he was playing better. And I'm like, did Deshaun throw back-to-back pick sixes? Like,
what are we
back-to-back?
talking? What are we
What are we
talking about?
doing? What are we doing? What are we
Talking
doing?
about,
Like,
bro.
please stop leaving the
Hey,
interception numbers out of this.
we've shit on other quarterbacks for less than that.
I just brought up PJ. I just brought up PJ.
Even more.
We shat on
We've shit on more quarterbacks.
DTR. Like, well, then I'm not going to throw that to DTR. Couldn't throw the ball downfield. That's unfair. But I'm just saying, we shout out to Draymond. We keep talking about him like he's Jacoby, but he not Jacoby.
Shout out Jacoby, man. Miss him.
Hey, game would have came down to the wire. We had 7 in the game. Like, that's a man who knows how to play with a good defense. Like, think about it. Jacoby almost won like 4 games with a ass awful defense. Like in a worst situation for him to win a game because he's not going to carry the team offensively.
I'm not gonna lie, he was doing a lot on offense with. Is that the worst Browns defense we've seen recently in like recent memory?
Dog, that's the worst Browns defense I've seen in my lifetime. Yeah.
I'm like, it's up there. It's up there for sure. It's pretty bad.
Hey, also would like to point out, with that same ass defense, Deshaun did go 3-3. like the seeds are there to tell you he could probably win games. Like, that's the thing I don't understand is that people are like, will he be good enough to win games? I'm like, he will be fine to win games with, right? The question is, can he do the stuff in the fourth quarter to put these games away? That's the real question with Deshaun Watson that nobody asks, because we want to assume that like he's going to be so bad that the team can't fucking win with him out there when there's no evidence to suggest that he's ever been that bad.
Yeah, man. I think he's going to be better than PJ Walker. And they won 2 games with PJ Walker. Probably should have won 3.
Should have won 3. Brother, they won a game with DTR and he can't throw the ball down 15 yards.
Listen, I guess the Pittsburgh Steelers of all teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Hey. You just got to do what you got to do.
They had us believing that we could make a run with Joe Flacco. What the fuck do you mean?
Oh, man. And you know what? If he doesn't throw those back-to-back pick sixes, might have been right.
Might have been able, because he was cooking before them sixes.
I'm telling you, the first half, he was cool.
He was cooking. And then he wasn't.
Man, that was the Joe experience. Real high highs and then the lowest lows ever.
I hope the Browns are really good this year so we could blow some teams out and get to see Jameis. like in the proper context that you could enjoy Jameis in. Like, Jerome Ford, how many yards you need for this incentive? Gonna hand you this ball. We gonna make sure you get the most out your rookie deal, young blood.
Homeboy Hall of Fame.
Yay.
Homeboy Hall of Fame. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Look, the second unit will not go through the lows. Okay, like he go. You know how like when you like a bench rider in the NBA, you be like, oh yeah, you know, second squad. Like you get the second squad energy. Hey, that's Jameis right there. Hey, 2 squad, 2s.
Oh man. Oh man, we love Jameis, dog. Love Jameis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be hilarious during camp, man.
Oh man,
David Bell gonna be out there throwing 2s up.
David Bell gonna make the team?
He gonna be competing to be on 2 squad. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna be on 1 squad. He gonna be on 2 squad, fighting out with Jamari Thrash. Right? Like,
hey, Jamari Thrash making a 53.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny.
Yeah. Hey, you know it'd be funny if Michael Woods makes the 53.
I completely forgot about Michael Woods.
Yeah. Let's get through these super chats, and then we can head on out. All right. Not only were the Browns down 14 in the fourth, they were down 14 three different times in that game and still weren't able and still
It
were
was
able to
it,
come back. Oh, he's
come
talking
back.
about the Baltimore game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a sign of a team that's just better than you. Like if they do that to you on the road, like if that happened to us, we
No,
would
yeah,
feel like
we'd be like, yeah, they just better.
they just
They just
better
better.
than us, dog. We ain't got
They
it.
just better.
We ain't got it
There's
because we
nothing we
know.
can do. We ain't know what we could do. We've been there
Yeah,
before.
like, they got us. Damn.
And they did
So,
that in Baltimore. We'll never win in fucking Baltimore. Like, never win in fucking Baltimore.
yeah.
Hey, when's the last time we won in Baltimore when Lamar was actually playing?
Nah, because the four interceptions was in Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Listen, don't, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Hey man, I need us. You know what I'm not looking forward to being this first game on? They gonna bring out that fucking scroll. You know what I'm talking about? That fucking scroll that they do. Oh, these people in Cleveland have been suffering. Let's talk about Red Right 88. Let's talk about the fucking drive. Hey, remember when the team moved and you became the Baltimore Ravens and they won a championship? Hey. Remember how ass you've been for the last 20 years? Hey, remember how you couldn't win the opener? Yeah. I hate it. I hate every time we on national TV, they bring us through the doom scroll, and I'm like, I fucking hate you guys for this. Like, stop it. I hate it when they do it to Detroit.
Nah, I want them to do it, and I need the Browns to blow out the Cowboys. Like I need that to be like
I need
the
this.
last time we do
I need
this
to be. I need the Browns to be up like 22 in the first quarter, just so they can never have an opportunity to put that dumbass graphic on the fucking screen. I am so over it, dog. I know for a fact if the Browns play like the Lions in the Super Bowl, it's gonna be obnoxious. It's gonna be obnoxious. Look at these two losers. Look at these two losers.
Look at
These
how
fan
far
bases
these
have.
teams come.
You just gotta feel for whoever. Like, shut up and call the game. Okay, we ain't been losers since 2018. Stop it. Okay. Like,
Listen, is there even really a loser with both of these teams here right now?
you just
Is there
gotta
really
be
a
happy
loser?
for both of these fan bases. They've been through so much. Remember when Barry Sanders retired? Which also happened to be the same year that Bernie Kosar got cut from the Browns. Remember that the Browns had Bill Belichick and fired him? Like, stop it, dog. We know.
Which is not what happened.
We picked Spurgeon win. We know we picked Spurgeon win a pick before Tom Brady. We know, dog. We understand this. Nobody knows better than us. Okay? Like, this is why I get mad when people say Deshaun Watson is the worst trade in like NFL history. Because I'm like, I've seen the Browns do worse trades. Like, what? Stop. You're not gonna convince me, dog. Like, I done lived through the Julio Jones trade.
I was literally just about to say Julio Jones trade.
I done lived through it. You talk about a trade we got nothing out of. Okay. Like,
Hey, no disrespect to Phil Taylor. He's cool.
we could have got
cool.
Phil Taylor, man. We could have got Phil Taylor without trading the Julio Jones pick.
Man.
But instead, we wanted to get Brad Smelly. Okay. And Brandon Whedon. And a pick that turned into Trent Richardson, that turned into fucking Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, man, we gotta stop bringing up old shit when it comes to Browns, dog.
Yeah, man, I'm over it. Stop it on the national broadcast. We've seen it. We know. They know too. Bro, trust me, I go on Twitter. Every time I tweet about some other team and they get mad about it, they bring up the scroll. Kansas City know about it. The people at Dallas know about it. We all know that the Browns had a pretty tumultuous past. Now bring up that Dallas Cowboys doom scroll that y'all don't ever bring up, because them have been equally as kind of sus over this last period of 10 years. Losing in the playoffs. Losing to Daniel Jones. Okay? No, they didn't lose to Daniel Jones. They lost to Daniel Jones?
Did they lose to Daniel Jones? They didn't lose.
I know they lost to Jimmy Garoppolo. For a fact, they lost to Jimmy Garoppolo.
They lost to Jordan Love.
Yeah.
They ain't lose to Daniel Jones.
Hey, remember when Tony Romo fumbled that punt? Nobody talk about that shit no more. But I gotta hear about some shit that happened in the fucking 80s every time the Browns play on the national stage. Every time, dog. Every time.
Oh man.
Even when Minnesota plays on national TV, we don't bring up. Not Minnesota. When the Saints play on national TV, we don't bring up the Minnesota Miracle. That was like 5 years ago.
Nah, we'll bring it up. We never bring it up.
But I gotta remember that the team got moved to Baltimore. Baltimore won a championship in 2001. Stop it, okay? Like, it's not interesting. If you produce for a National Football League broadcast this year, leave it out, bro. Nobody gonna miss it. Like, leave it out of the production. We not gonna miss it. Nobody's gonna miss it. I'm so over the doom scroll. Like, oh my God, who can I call to let people know that we just don't need it no more? Please stop. Please stop. Please just stop. Like, why we getting treated like we the Falcons losing to the Super Bowl 28-3? And even they don't bring that shit up every time Atlanta play on national TV, man. Well, no, I ain't gonna lie, they do. They do.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They
But that's
do.
the Super Bowl. We ain't do that shit in the Super Bowl, man. Let that shit go. Okay. Like,
I'm about to say, they 100% bring that shit up
every time a team
they
gets
can.
to 28-3, I tweet my homeboy Trey Shaw. I'll be like, hey, dog.
Oh man.
Damn.
That broke people's spirits in a way the Browns haven't even broke our spirit like that.
Hey, bro. All I'm saying is every time I see Seattle on TV, they don't talk about that one play. like, hell, every time I see if you do it for us, every time I see Russ on my fucking screen, you better talk about that shit. Okay? Like, nah. I'm sick of it, dog.
Come on, bro.
All
Let's
right.
get through these super chats real quick.
Because unlike the Browns and the Ravens, the Browns have 10-pound, have a top 10 linebacker, right, Q? Yep. Soul Train says, I'm trying to get through it, dog. Don't do this.
I know. I'm sorry. That was funny. That was funny.
Come on.
He was trying to get you to go on a rant. He was trying to get you to go on a rant.
I saw the rant coming. I was like, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Cove got shit to do. Like, let's see, I chose you over talking shit about Roquan Smith, man. That's real.
I appreciate
it's
that.
real friendship.
If somebody bring up the Lamar 4 picks in a win game when you got something to do, I'm not gonna do the rant.
You're like, hey man. After one season, they unlearned bad habits. They went into the offseason knowing the system they had at a depth, and I expect the Browns defense to be scary. Absolutely. I agree with that, Soul Train. Ray Rag says, I think it needs to be talked about that everyone who's talked about Joe Burrow's injury said it significantly changes the wrist range of motion and that he might only be able to get 80% of his strength back.
No, that's a thing, apparently.
A
couple of doctors. There's a couple of doctors who are like, it's a very weird injury, and we're not entirely sure how he's gonna be at.
I'm not about to get my hopes up. Nah,
I'm not either. He's probably still gonna be good.
Yeah,
he's probably still gonna be good.
He'll figure it out. He's been throwing with a chicken noodle his whole life, so it ain't gonna be nothing different if it's a little bit slower.
And hey man, that little bit can make a difference. That little bit.
He been throwing with that little shit now.
Listen, man, you know, get any slower. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
AJ Hawk had the same injury and said he played with a cast on his hand for the rest of his career because he had to, because he couldn't use that wrist the same anymore. Hey, dog, I'm not about to do this.
No, we just go.
I'll wait till week 8. I'll wait till week 8 to get off on it. Yeah,
because we'll get a takeoff and then he'll throw 5 touchdowns first game. We'll be like,
then I got these fucking goofy ass Bengal fans in my. What about the wrist? I'm like, I ain't never talked about the fucking wrist. Shut up, you dorks. Like, that's why I don't like Bengal fans. They are the fan base that comes off the most like dorks of any of the fan bases that we have to regularly interact with. Like, you guys are dorks. Like, leave us alone.
Yeah, like Steelers fans are annoying, but they're not that bad.
It's only one fan base that dress up in costumes in the AFC North. These are dorks. They dorks, bro. Like,
man.
No
Oof.
offense. If you're not a dork and you a Cincinnati fan, I understand it's geological. But geological is not a word.
It's not a word.
Is in proximity to your location. Fuck it. I can't speak today. But I just want you to know that a lot of your Bengal fans are fucking dorks. Like it is what it is. The Browns fans got some dorks in them too.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we be honest about it. Nobody's more honest about it than us.
Hey, look, and nobody fries our dorks more than us. Okay, like Browns fans will fry. Like,
So we do not care. I promise you, we don't care.
there are like 5 accounts that we just constantly fry all the time on this platform. Ray Rag says, Q, I know you're going back and watching the games. I need to see a list of points off turnovers that ended up with the other team with the ball within the Browns 40-yard line. Man, it's going to be a lot. Like, Browns will turn that bitch over early and often, all season.
All season. All seasons.
From week 1 on.
Mike
C says, Browns beat Baltimore in Baltimore in 2019.
Oh, 40-25.
Oh, yeah, that's the Nick Chubb game.
Shout out Nick Chubb.
That was a good day.
That was a great day.
That was a good day for what ended up being a horrible year. Because right after that day, shit went south for us. It went straight to the fucking moon for Baltimore until they lost to the Titans in the playoffs. Shout out to Derrick Henry, man. He really ended Earl Thomas's career. Ain't seen that motherfucker since.
Okay. Running back. Who says running backs don't matter?
Mm-hmm. I bet Earl don't.
Oh, Mike C. Rodriguez said Cowboys haven't been to an NFC title game since 95. Damn. It was one.
Well, that's February of 95, right?
Damn, I wouldn't even won.
I was in my mama belly, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, I was 3 months out. Like,
man.
Yeah. I was still on the umbilical. Okay. Like,
man, what's the last time the Browns were in a championship game? What, in the 80s?
Hey, we don't gotta talk about that.
I'll just make sure we laughed. We laughed at the Cowboys. Okay, bring it back.
But you gotta factor in, right? You gotta factor in. We were gone for 4 years. So like if you add 4 years to 86 and then you add another 6 years just in like reconstruction payments that the NFL has to give the Browns when it comes to this kind of stuff, then really like it's like we haven't been to the championship game since like 97. You know, you got to add that other stuff.
89. I was like, I probably shouldn't laugh too much.
Remember, man, the Browns didn't play for 4 seasons, so you got to add 4 there, right?
Right.
Then you got to multiply by 2. So it's 8 plus 89. It's like 97.
I feel what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, because you can't count the first 4 years of expansion as being bad. Like, you got to give them 8 years of they had to rebuild and reconstruct. And it's really like they haven't been to the title since 97. So we still can laugh at them. Yeah, we good.
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah. What they gonna say? You guys were losers. You too, bitch.
like we both losers. Now what?
Yeah. Y'all had quarterbacks and y'all lost. At least we was losing with people we were supposed to lose with. Like, I'd rather win 10 games with Derek Anderson and then get eliminated in the second round with Dak. Okay, like.
Hey, quick question: who would you rather have on the Browns right now, Dak or Deshaun?
Ooh. I think Deshaun has a better chance. Deshaun has a better chance. Because Dak's more consistent. Dak's going to put up better numbers. Dak's going to be more or less of what the numbers should look like for a $230 million quarterback. But I don't trust Dak in the fourth quarter. And I think I trust Deshaun more in those situations than Dak. And I think that's what matters for this team. So I would slightly go with Deshaun. But it ain't that different.
Nah, it was just funny. It was just funny the way you looked when I said it, because you could see in your face. You was like, ooh.
It's tough. Stuff. Deshaun definitely
You
has to
really,
like stay healthy.
you really thought about it, and I know how you be talking about that crazy. He was like,
I thought about it with Kirk Cousins. Okay, like it
"Hey
has not been
man,
the best 2 years of Deshaun Watson's career. We can all admit that. Like,
everyone knows. Everyone knows if you follow me on Twitter, I was the main one pushing to get Kirk when we knew we were getting rid of Baker. I was the main one. I was like, hey, just go get Kirk.
I
He can do
remember,
the job.
I remember hearing that, and I was like, y'all think it's so short term right now because y'all gonna hate Kirk by year 2. Like, y'all gonna hate Kirk when he don't show up in the fucking playoffs. Like,
Like, if we got to do something, dog. We got to do something.
yeah, that wasn't it. But I ain't gonna lie. Like, we were all over the place. We were advocating for Russ. We was advocating for Derek Carr. Hey, all the options considered, the shots still don't look that bad. Like,
It's either honestly, it was either him. It was him or Kirk. It was him or Kirk. Like
it was him, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, or Russell Wilson, or Baker Mayfield. I don't know, man. I wouldn't feel great about doing it over again, but I definitely would. like,
bro, we was all over the place, all over the place. All of us were
like
all
maybe
over.
he won't get injured this time, you know?
It was bad. It was bad.
Hey. But that's gonna be it for Q and Code. It's a condensed version, only 3 hours today. Y'all have a great one. Have a better night. Peace.